There we go. I had everybody muted. All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Rollerblading is Still Fun podcast. I am Josh Navarfar, the host, and you are tuned into the greatest podcast in the world. And this is episode number 31. And with us, we got the homies on the couch. We got Jose Arce and Brady Johnston. What's up, guys?
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
Yo.
Come on, Brady. You can do better than that.
It's Wednesday night.
Hold on 1 second.
And you know what that means. It's Wednesday night.
And we got John Sullivan. Yo, we got John Sullivan.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if he can hear it.
John. Yo, John. Hold on.
Is he muted?
I unmuted him. John. Oh, there he goes. Okay. I was introducing you, John.
Yo, happy birthday, Lander. What's going down?
Okay, happy birthday, Lander. I didn't know it was his
Yeah.
birthday. Is he in the chat? I don't see him
What's
in there.
up?
Oh, he needs to get in there. All right. And we do have a very awesome guest with us, so I'm super excited to have him here.
I said happy birthday, Lander.
Yeah, John. I heard you. Can you hear me, John?
Uh-oh.
I don't know if he can hear us.
Oh, got those, John. John, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, you're acting like you don't hear anything. All
It was
right.
kind of lagged. Well, I had a situation for a minute.
Okay. Are you good now?
I stepped outside, so I am good.
Okay, great. We do it live, everybody. So with us, we have an awesome guest. We're so excited to have him live in here on the stream. He is a legend in the rollerblading game. He pretty much almost started this whole rollerblading thing, especially for us here in Dallas, Texas, due to him being in this area and the skate park that he used to own and run. With us, we have Arlo Eisenberg.
Hi everybody. Am I the first one to acknowledge when you call my name?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much for paying attention.
Yeah,
Like these guys.
they're all over it. They've done it so many times. They're just like not even interested. It's all new and exciting for me.
Oh,
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started with the stuff that we do, and I'm gonna move kind of quickly through this. That way, we can leave as much time to talk to Arlo because we do have a lot of things to go through. So
And he
before we,
talks a lot.
yes, he's got a lot to say.
Mhm.
yeah.
Before we get started, we're gonna talk about Feet and Four Wheels. So that's Shawn Michelson's rollerblading apparel company out of Chicago, and they just actually dropped. I just saw this today because I saw you literally just put this up. But he's got the new Dare hoodie,
That's dope.
pretty sick.
What is it doing? A lot of rolling extremely. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for DAR.
That's sick. I love the Dare logo.
But he's got a lot of dope ass parody shirts. He's got the Send It for Senate. He's got the Hackers tee. Whole bunch of really cool clothes. And he actually has a promo code, so just use promo code RBISF for 10% off of your order. So definitely.
You
do
actually
that.
remember hackers.
What'd you say? Yeah. Wait,
You
Trackers.
remember hackers.
Yeah, I remember this time.
Those
Have
are
you seen
great.
that movie, Arlo?
What, Hackers?
Yeah.
I remember it, but I don't know if I actually saw it. Why?
We have a whole.
It was
running
just
thing with
something that we
hackers
brought
now.
up, and I would have figured that you would have seen it because it.
I'm of the right age to have seen it, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think that I
exactly.
actually saw it. Who was in it? Kiefer Sutherland?
I think they said Angelina.
Angelina Jolie,
Come on,
Matthew
man.
Lillard. I'm not sure of the others.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
saw it.
I didn't actually see it either. Hmm.
Had the guy from Scream.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard.
Man, you stabbed me a little too hard on this one, man.
Those shirts are great.
Yeah, they're super sick. I like this one, the F Savannah, like
Mhm.
the Action Bronson F. That's
Yeah.
delicious. Super cool t-shirts. So definitely check out Feet and Four Wheels. Use promo code RBISF for 10% off. If you want to get RBISF merch, I'm going to drop the link in the chat and it is in the description. We have t-shirts, hoodies, and coffee mugs. That's a way to support the channel. Go ahead and drop that in the chat. Now, if you want a free and easy way to support the channel, all you have to do is like the video and make sure that you are a subscriber. It really helps us out a lot. Next, we're going to get into our raffle. So we had a very, very
Oh, go away.
sturdy raffle wheel here.
We do.
So
Yo.
yeah, we got a lot of people in the raffle, so that's super exciting. So what we're auctioning off or raffling off is this Murder Militia skate bag.
It's murder.
When are you gonna raffle what I brought? When do we do that?
They have to leave a comment on this video, and then we do it on next stream.
When do we show them what we're gonna?
Oh,
draw?
we'll show them after this.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. We got a new raffle coming up for y'all. Very exciting. But we got this Murder Militia skate bag brought to you by Murder Militia. Thank y'all so much for sponsoring the podcast. And we do also have 2 sets of Murder Militia wheels. And my initial plan was to just do one raffle for the bag and the wheels and give it all away. But I'm actually going to break it up. So we're going to spin for the bag. Then we're going to spin for 1 set of wheels. We're going to spin for another set of wheels. That way we can have more winners.
Sounds great.
And then we got a bonus set of wheels, the Minnesota Twins Mike French wheels. So we're going to have 4 winners for this stream. So very excited. I always want to give y'all free stuff and hook y'all up for supporting. So let's get right into the spin for the backpack.
Is that more than for the lava skates?
I
It
think
looks
so.
like
Yeah,
it.
I think so.
That bag, you talked it up real big.
Dude, it's one of the best skate bags I've ever seen.
That's what I heard.
All right, here we go.
Oh, strong.
We made a lot of skate bags.
Hmm.
Back in
Senate made the
Did you
best
bring
ones.
one,
Are you
though?
kidding me?
I don't have any.
Senate made the best bags.
Thank you.
RDG Blading 1813. You are the winner of a brand new Murder Militia skate bag. Congratulations. In order to claim your prize, all you have to do is hit me up on Instagram. You have until next stream to do so, and I will send you out your bag. I pray that you live in America. So I'm going to remove you, and we're going to spin for the wheels. So again, we have 3 sets of wheels, 3 sets of Murder Militia wheels. So this spin is going to be for this set right here.
Oh, the Jan Welch trash edition.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that for sure.
60 millimeter?
They are, I think they're 58 millimeter. Oh no, they're 57 millimeter.
Hmm.
Wait, 57 or 59? Oh, XCOM
Oh,
Fitness.
XCOM. Hey.
There you go. You were complaining we didn't put you on the raffle.
He skates
just
flat
heard.
too, I believe.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Wait, hold on, let me see. I can't.
Maybe
really
John
see.
Perez will win the next one, and then John.
No,
can just get it.
I told him he's done winning prizes. I think they're 59 millimeters. So
Do you need readers?
just about. Yeah.
Really does. That's a
Definitely.
whole
I like gray hair now. His eyes are going out.
Hey, welcome to the club. Listen, I'm not clowning.
No, I definitely do. I'm all like,
You can't find the numbers, or you need
no,
glasses?
I see him.
or-
It's written in like a graffiti text.
Oh, okay.
So the 7 kind of looks like a 9.
Gotcha.
But XCOM Fitness, hit me up on Instagram so I can ship you out your wheels. Congratulations. And for the next set of wheels, it is going to
Hey, there
be...
he is.
Oh, there we go. He's
What's
in the
up,
chat.
Mike?
Heck yeah. For these ones, so let's go ahead and spin for these and see who's going to get these. Let me remove XCon.
XCon got the set of wheels. Telling John Perez.
All right,
Yeah.
American Renovations. I have no idea who you are, but you just want a free set of wheels. So hit me up on Instagram, and we will get those shipped out to you. All right, and then the bonus prize is for the Mike French Twin City,
Dang,
City,
man.
Minnesota
Mike
Twins.
and Derek French.
Mike and Derek French. What'd I say? Just Mike French?
Yeah, dude.
Mike and
There's
Derek
2
French.
faces on it. How are you not going to say the other name if there's 2 faces on the wheel? Twins. Get it? Twins, 2?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh.
All right, let's see who gets these.
What's on the other side of the wheel? Why didn't they just each get a side?
That's what we should have
Ooh,
done. It's
good
just the same
question.
print on both
Yeah.
sides.
Probably
Hmm.
save some money.
So you need to be working for
Yeah.
Murder Militia.
Here we go. RDG Blading 1813. I feel like he's won a raffle in the past and he never claimed his prize because that
Think-
name.
Didn't he win
He
a
won the
raffle today?
Yeah,
Wait, oh, was that the person that just won?
the first one.
The first one.
I thought I removed it.
No.
Okay, sorry, dude. You're not winning again.
Ooh.
Oh.
He got the
He got
best
the back
prize.
I think he tried like a reverse ban evasion and did a separate account.
Ooh, Ray Soto.
Yeah.
All right, Ray Soto, you got the Mike
Give me my
and Derek
fucking
French
will.
wheels. So hit me up on Instagram,
Like him.
My dog.
Ray, and I will send you out those wheels. Congratulations, dude. And much love to Ray. He's done a lot of
Yeah.
things for me. He's
Yeah,
done
the
the
clips and
yeah,
the beer openers, bottle openers.
yeah, he's made RBISF bottle openers. He's made this thing, Jose, you want to point to it? The thing on the behind you on the table behind you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he made that RBISF
wooden-
thing out of wood for me. And he also did some carabiners that were branded for me. So thank you so much, Ray. I'm so glad that you won. Get you some free stuff.
Ray's dope. I have some Ghost brand and some drug receipts wood stuff done by Ray too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, I saw he also did some stuff for Carrier Skate Shop. So
Yep.
that's super cool of him.
Yeah, I think he did all the prizes. The last one, the
Oh, the square.
the placards
yeah.
for like first place and stuff.
Okay, so those are all our prizes. Now let's talk about our new raffle. So we do have Arlo Eisenberg here, and he was going to sponsor the raffle. So Arlo, if you want to go ahead and talk about what you're going to be providing for the raffle. And let me just say before you start, in order to enter the raffle again, all you have to do is leave a comment on the video. You cannot leave a comment during the live stream. It won't let you. But after the live stream, go to the video, leave a comment. You do have to be a subscriber to the channel. And also, everybody, be sure to like the video while you're here. Let's go ahead and go to Arlo and see what he's going to be offering up for the raffle.
These are the onesies we made for drug receipts.
Ooh.
It's a full zip onesie. Has a mask, long sleeve, and we have them in multiple sizes. But you said once we find out the winner, I'll make sure we have the right one for you. The one I brought here, I think, is extra large. But they're so big and loose that they run like two sizes. So we have like I think it's a small, medium, large, extra large, and then a 2X, whatever. But yeah, do you want to open that? Yeah, it's cool to see the whole thing. I mean, it's got so many details on it. It's got patches. It's got custom all over print on it.
Here, Brady, open it up and put it on for us.
I was gonna say, put it on too.
Yeah.
I think that will fit you.
Give it a go.
Full
Yeah,
demonstration.
I'm gonna enter the raffle.
Dude, the patches are
I would
sick.
love one of those.
Yeah, that thing is, I mean, we went all out on it.
Crispy. Nice material too.
They're comfortable. Yeah. Hi, Keaton.
It'd be a onesie. Hey, Keaton. Hey, girl.
Mask right here. Whoa.
Oh yeah. Definitely PJ.
Let me see the back. Oh yeah, that's super sick.
Damn, that thing's badass.
That's a chenille patch. Yeah, the whole thing. It's got patches all over on the sleeves. It's got one on the back, on the legs. All little graphics.
And it feels awesome too.
So Arlo said he has multiple sizes, so all you have to do is let me know the size.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing the raffle on next week's stream, which is Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. All you have to do is leave a comment on this stream. Let us know what you love. Let us know what you hate. Give us some feedback, and we'll put you in the raffle.
Yeah.
You gonna put it on, Brady?
Man, you glazing Brady right now. I see you looking him up and down, glazing. Some glazed
All right,
pork
are you
chops
gonna
up
put it
in
on?
there, huh?
Oh, sweet. Okay, Brady's gonna model it for us. Yeah, we'll give him a second to put it on. But thank you everybody for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. Be sure to like the video. It's a free and easy way to support the channel.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think you spilled your drink or Ollie spilled it.
Oh,
Nice.
there goes the drink spill for the episode.
Yeah, that was early too.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Does that happen every episode?
Every episode.
It does somehow. It's
Someone
usually
is-
Jose.
And if not, and if it doesn't happen here, the French brothers dropped something on theirs.
Oh, really?
And it broke. It was like a glass cup
Oh,
or
no.
something. So yeah, I mean it's for good luck, I guess.
Spilling things.
I do it. I spill
breaking
things the
things?
least, but I did kick the crap out of a Topo Chico like 2 episodes
Uh-huh.
ago.
Uh-huh.
That's your size, Brady.
That's badass, dude.
That's dope.
Jose, we need to get you on that, Jose. You need to do some clips. You got the hat on too, like.
Oh, all he's drinking energy drink. He's about to jump.
Ooh,
Don't let her
that's
drink
not
that.
good. Dude,
Brady,
that's
come over
not
here,
look.
jump
He's
down.
licking his lips too. He's all, yeah, this is good stuff here. What
I
about if
know.
Ollie just like starts like the heart of like a young pup? And he just
There
goes
we
nuts?
go. There we go, dude. That is sick.
Yeah, it's tired as hell.
Dude, sunglasses last week to now you fully masked up, huh?
Can you see out of it?
It's got holes for the eyes.
Okay, sick. Hell
The
yeah.
Mask, yeah.
That's what's up.
I
You're gonna, wear it
know.
the whole, you're gonna wear it the whole stream, Brady?
It's probably gonna get pretty hot in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's for somebody, I'm sure they don't want your sweat in it.
No sweat here. Hey, there's perfect vision.
We can
Oh,
get
there's
him a
perspiration.
clean one.
Any wheel size.
There's perspiration.
All right, sick. Okay, so
All
we're
right.
gonna go ahead and get into talking with Arlo and asking him some questions. I do want the chat to be able to ask questions, and we do want to try to get to them. If you want to guarantee your question to get asked, it's just a $10 super chat, and we will ask your question guaranteed. But if not, we're gonna get through what we want to talk about, and then we're gonna try to let the chat ask some questions also. But a $10 super chat will get you a for sure question asked, and we'll go over your question. Always a $5 super chat will get you another entry in the raffle. So if you want more than one entry, just do a $5 super chat, and I appreciate it. Okay. So Arlo, do you want to wait till
Josh?
you're all settled, Brady? Okay. So the first thing I want to get into is the return of NISS.
Yeah.
Now, NISS is the National Inline Skate Series, and
Yeah.
it was a really big circuit of inline rollerblading competitions back in the 90s. I think it ended about 1998.
It was the very first competition series, and it predated the X Games by a year.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
first NISS series was 1994, I believe. And it was the year after that, 95 was when they had the first X Games. So NISS predated the X Games, and it was obviously also the very first rollerblading series.
So my first question about that is kind of how did that come to be? How did it end up coming back? If you can talk a little bit to that, and then also just some of the people that are behind the resurrection of the competition, because I think most people just see Chris Edwards. He's kind of the front man for it.
Yeah.
But I know there are a lot of people in the back end that are working to bring that to be a new competition or a new thing. So if you want to kind of let us know, how that happened, how the
Yeah.
idea came about, and then the kind of the people behind it.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I'll actually take it backwards because you mentioned Chris and him being the face of it or the front man. This is all fresh on my mind because I just had a meeting with like the NISS board 2 nights ago, or maybe it was last night. Because the Carriers Open is going to be the U.S. championships, and so that's kind of done in coordination with NISS. So we were talking about that last night. But one of the things that we talked about also was our social media presence and like the social media strategy. Chris is like, he is a super passionate guy, and he is traveling and going to all the events. And so he's been doing a really great job of getting content out there. He is live streaming from the events. He's interviewing people. He's got a constant presence. But for NISS, we'd like to have it be more forward facing. We'd like to sort of incorporate newer voices. Chris and I won the first NISS. He won vert, I won street.
I didn't know that.
Yep. We were the first NISS champions. I won a jet ski.
Are you serious?
Ugh.
Yeah, they had money back then for these competitions.
yeah.
That's crazy. A jet ski, damn.
I went a jet ski. So I mean, I never rode it. I traded it in for the cash or whatever.
Mm.
But I got to take a picture on it. You know, I'm sat on it. And actually, I don't think it's a jet ski. It's when you sit on. It was a Sea-Doo. But same idea. But so I guess let me answer your original question. The reason it came back is because rollerblading, while it has taken a dip in popularity in the US, it's not necessarily the case all over the world. And so there are still big competitions in other countries. You know, you've got Feast, obviously is a huge competition. Winter Clash is still really big. But in some of these major international competitions, like the World Games and the World Championships, which have skateboarding and scooters and rollerblading, and they have competitors from all over the world, from many different countries. They don't have U.S. skaters because we don't have a federation in the U.S. which feeds into the World Games essentially. And so they're Nell Martin, who's a vert skater from Spain. He is very active in the World Games, and he knows people there. And they've been talking to him, saying, you know, we've got to qualify American skaters. At the last World Games, Jeff Dahlness and Fritz went out and competed just because they were like, we need to get American skaters out here. And so Isaac Altman's, Nell Martin, they kind of pulled some strings, made stuff happen, and got them out there. But that was just kind of like a patchwork solution. Really what we want is to have a U.S. qualifier. Essentially, we want to have a series and then we want it to culminate in the U.S. championship so we can send our champions to compete in these international events. And so as we were talking about all this, and Nell started bringing people together to talk about, like, you know, we need to put together some kind of U.S. Championship. We need to put together some kind of circuit. One of the ideas came up, well, how about instead of just trying to start from scratch, why don't we reach out to all the independent contests that are still out there and see if we can kind of put them together into a series. And then once that idea started percolating, the idea came up, well, instead of trying to come up with a new name for it or rebrand it, I mean, this is a national inline series. Let's bring back the NISS name. You know, it's got some history to it. It's got some meaning to people. And so that's kind of where the idea all came from. And I did the branding for it, by the way. I did the logos and stuff for the new NISS. But so having said all that, now to bring it full circle to the thing with Chris, is the idea with this is it's not supposed to just be like a retro thing, you know? The new series should be for the new skaters. And so I think that we are kind of sensitive to that. And the fact that Chris has been the one who's doing it has been a great asset to the project. You know, someone's got to be out there getting content out there. And we've kind of have been throwing this together as we go on the fly, you know, because it's all just started happening this year. We haven't had a whole lot of time to prepare for it. But as we kind of start to come up with more of a strategy and try to look forward, I think that we would like to have, you know, we'd like to have this thing be represented by the skaters who are out there skating. And Chris and I, and, you know, all of us that were around for the original NISS series, we're a part of the story, but we should only be a part of the story. It's y'all's story now, or it's the next generation's thing now.
So the main thing that everybody's really excited about is that the fact that this is going to feed into the World Skate Games. So we're talking, like, how many competitors are going to be able to advance from these competitions in order to possibly have a chance? And I don't want to keep asking so many questions at once. Is the World Skate Games like is it already set that that's going to be the case, or are we still working on getting all that together?
No, this has all been done in coordination with the World Skate Games. They know that we're doing this. So this is the U.S. Championships will qualify people for the World Skate Games and for the World Championships. So the World Skate Games are every 2 years. So they won't be this year, but this year there is a World Championships, which will be in Japan. And it's the same month as carriers. So just within a couple of weeks of carriers will be the World Championships in Japan. And the skaters that win at Carriers Open, they are immediately qualified and eligible to go to the World Championships. And to answer your question about how many, so each country can qualify 5 male riders and 5 female riders. And so that's what we're going to try and come up with at the Carriers Open is we will find those 5 men and 5 women to represent the US.
So,
What's that?
No, he said dope.
Oh yeah, it's dope. And so the Carriers Open, we always get an international field. And so it will be it'll be an international contest. Everybody can come and skate, but the highest qualifying American skaters will be the ones that round out or that make up the US team.
And then I believe the World Skate Games has been an entry point for the Olympics with skateboarding, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken, that's kind of led to skateboarding being an event in the Olympics. Is that something that's also being thought about as far as rollerblading possibly having the same opportunity?
100%. So that is probably a longer term goal. But 100%, like if we are ever going to have the opportunity to be in the Olympics, or if we ever hope to be in the Olympics, you kind of have to have an infrastructure built first, something that can feed into it. So the federation that we're working with in the U.S., the U.S. organization that's affiliated with the international organization is USA Roller Sports, and they're the ones that represent skateboarding in the Olympics. And they represent sort of essentially wheeled sports, roller skating, skateboarding, scooters, and rollerblades. But they have every rollerblading division except for aggressive. And so we're trying to work with them to get, to make aggressive kind of a part of USA Roller Sports. So we can have sanctioned events, and so we can have something that feeds into the international competitions. And as you say, also one day hopefully can, if we ever have the opportunity, help us get into the Olympics.
Now, as far as you saying they have other rollerblading events, is that like speed skating?
Yeah, speed skating, slalom skating, artistic, stuff like that.
Like dance skating or something like that?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, rollerblading, aggressive rollerblading should definitely be up there with all of those other events.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely a lot more exciting.
It's not about being more exciting, right? But it should be there. If you have an organization that's representing wheeled sports and rollerblading, different rollerblading disciplines, there's no reason that aggressive shouldn't be there. And aggressive, by the way, I think now it's called, at least in the World Games and stuff, it's called freestyle rolling or something like that. And that's what I put on the US Championships, like on the first flyer that we made for Carriers Open. I just put like freestyle rolling, whatever, something like that. Just trying to fit in whatever.
I like the term freestyle rolling. I think it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Aggressive skating kind of sounds a little dated.
For sure.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
think New York, when they made that Be Unique videos, they would consider it freestyle rolling.
But the thing is, I think that, well, I don't know. Because I think there's a discipline within USA Roller Sports that's maybe it's already called freestyle. But maybe not, because if it's called freestyle rolling, then I guess there's not also a freestyle. So maybe it's us.
And then as far as qualifying, you had to skate let me go back to the website. So you had to skate the people that skate like Crowder Power and the Windy City Riot and all these other competitions.
Yeah.
They're trying to earn a spot at the Carriers, and they're going to automatically be in the finals for the Carriers. Is that correct?
It's close, but it's not exactly correct. It's a little more detailed than that. So there are three divisions, or I guess 3 stages of competition at Carriers Open. There will be an Open. There will actually be a Carriers Open.
And that's open for anybody to be able to skate.
For anybody to be able to skate, yes. There will also be an Invitational, which is the second stage. So the top 3 finishers from each of these NISS feeders, or each of the NISS stops. So if you place top 3 at any of those, you go automatically into the Invitational. If you made it into the top 10, if you're 4th through 10th at any of those events, then you're eligible to come and skate in the open here. And if you have not competed yet in any of the tour stops, you can also come and get a spot in the open and try to make it into the invitational. There are limited number of spots because we don't have an infinite, we don't have infinite time to run a contest, and there's not an infinite registration list, but it will be, I think all of the NISS stop competitors, top 10s, will have first shot at it. We will send out kind of like RSVP notices to them before the registration goes live. And so they'll have first dibs on the spots. After that, we will open it up and start filling up the spots on a first come, first serve basis, except for the top 3. Top 3 will have their spots reserved. That equals, I think, 18 skaters, 6 stops, top 3 from each. We'll have 18 spots reserved in the invitational.
Okay, and then the top 5 from the carriers gets to go to, or gets a chance to skate in Japan.
Yeah.
For the World's Finals. Is that going to be like Team America?
Yeah, so that's the final stage. So we have the Open, then the Invitational, and then the Invitational will turn into a finals, where I think 14 riders will be narrowed down to the top 5. That will kind of be the finals event. Yeah, and then the top 5 highest ranked U.S. skaters, because there's a chance, Niels Johnson will show up and win the Carriers Open, but obviously he won't be representing the U.S. in international competition. So whoever the top 5 highest ranking Americans are will be the U.S. team.
Okay. Is there going to be any help in getting them to Japan, or is it going to just be on their own dime to make it out there and be able to skate the finals representing America?
So this is premature, but I'll go ahead and put it out there. So there is talk. There is a very good chance that we will send the number 1 qualifying male rider, number 1 qualifying female rider. We will pay for their airfare to go to Japan. We can't do it for all 5, or that's 10, right? 5 men, 5 women. But for the highest qualifying that can go, we will we will go down the list, give you first right of refusal. If you're the highest ranking, but you say, listen, I can't make it to Japan in 2 weeks, we'll go down to the next one. But so, yeah, we've been talking about it. We think that we can pull it off. So don't hold me to it. It's not written in stone yet, but I think chances are better than not that we will find a way to send the 1 man and 1 woman to Japan for the World Championships.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I'm sure that will help them out a lot, because I'm sure that's not going to be a very cheap trip. Plus, such short notice.
Exactly.
Yeah, on short notice. Was that? I mean, I guess, was that considered whenever the carrier's date was set that it was going to be? It wasn't. Okay.
No, honestly, I mean, maybe someone was aware. I wasn't aware that there were going to be World Championships the same month. But it is what it is, and if you make it onto the U.S. team, essentially, you carry that status until the next U.S. Championships. So for every international event, you are eligible to skate and represent U.S.
Sick.
And they have within these organizations, they're also going to have, I believe, a Pan American Games, which I don't know if the location's been set for that yet. I think there was some talk about maybe it would be in Seattle. But so if it's in the States, obviously that will make it a lot easier for our skaters to get to. But then, yeah, that's something that our U.S. team would be eligible for.
I had a question. Sorry, John. Is there is Blade Cup not included for the NISS?
Blading Cup didn't want to be a part of NISS.
Oh, okay.
Why is that?
I can't speak for them. I mean, I would guess that it's kind of like, it's just sort of a different philosophy, a different approach to skating. Blading Cup kind of has their lane. I don't think that they're the kind of event or organization that's really focused on getting rollerblading into the Olympics, for instance. I think they're probably more focused on the street and cultural aspects of it.
Gotcha. John, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, do you think another round of jackets are going to be made, like from Fritz's and Dallas's from last year? Those are fire. I just wanted to know if those might be remade.
Arlo had nothing to do with that.
You saw the onesie, right?
That's what we're getting.
That's what well.
Sorry, it wasn't.
I'm just
Maybe it
saying.
Red,
was
white,
just
and
like
blue?
it was a shot in the dark. I don't know,
No, John, Arlo had nothing to do with that. Those jackets.
I
actually,
totally
Are
know
you
who
aware
had.
what he's talking about?
No, I can't.
I think I can picture seeing a Fritz and Jeff wearing the jackets.
Yeah, you can imagine like a rhinestone Peitzner kind of a situation.
Is it like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
is.
dude, it was
It's,
glossy white.
it's
Had
gloss.
just that. It had so many bedazzles.
I think that
on the
sounds
back
sick.
of
It's a
it.
great jacket, is
Yeah.
what we're trying to say.
But
He wouldn't let me
Absolutely,
wear it
there should
online.
be like team swag or whatever you call it, like stuff
Yeah.
that Team USA wears, but it doesn't have to be corny.
Yeah.
I thought it was fresh. I'll send you a picture of it, Arlo. I thought I
Okay.
looked great in it. I wore Fritz's. Danny went and picked it up from his mom's, but Josh wouldn't let me wear it on the podcast.
Well, Sullivan, you show up and win carriers, and we'll make sure you get a jacket.
42 ain't doing it anymore. I'll judge.
We will need judges.
I'll judge.
We don't have
Last
judging
year-
jackets,
last
but
year
we
I built
definitely need
stuff.
judges.
No, last year I built stuff, and this year I just want to chill and judge. And
All right.
yeah,
I
that-
filmed last year too.
Erin might be representing Team USA. Is she going to compete?
You trying? She just won Supergirl last week.
So come out and win carriers, or get top 5.
Yeah.
yeah, she
Top
definitely
three.
has more than.
Yeah,
a
this
chance
was
of
my
doing that.
favorite,
Yeah.
my first comp I ever went to, in West End, Dallas.
Wait, what was your first
96?
comp?
NISS,
Oh,
96
yeah.
in West End, Dallas.
Weston, or was it?
It was
Deep
West
Ellum?
End, right where the
That's what I
Hooters
thought.
was.
Sorry.
No, we had this discussion because we were watching it on YouTube and we saw the one in the Weston and the one in Deep Ellum.
Oh, they're 2 different events.
there was a discussion about which one was which.
Deep Ellum was one of the worst contests of my life.
Why is
Oh.
that?
I don't remember. It was terrible. Maybe because I was home and like I don't know, but I just remember it going spectacularly bad.
Oh,
I remember. This is so weird. Such a weird thought. I remember at some point in the event there was a big quarter pipe there, and so I just skated up to the quarter pipe and did a backflip. And I knew that I'd always told myself I would never do that. Like just go up a quarter pipe and do a backflip because it just felt so easy. And so I knew I was doing it just to try and save face. Like, you know what I mean? Like
get something going.
just whatever, like to give the crowd something. But
Mhm.
it felt to me, it felt kind of like corny, like cheating.
Yeah, they love backflips in competitions.
Yeah.
Sure do.
That's how you get the crowd going.
Yeah.
They
Get the
sure
crowd
do.
hype.
Some things never change.
Yeah.
Did y'all have anything else y'all wanted to talk as far as NISS
Are we
goes?
done?
Any other
That's it?
questions? No. I'm just
Oh,
I'm
okay.
giving them an opportunity
Okay.
to ask any questions. If
Wait,
they-
I have
Just
a real
kidding.
quick one. So you won the first street. Edwards won the first vert. Did you
Yeah.
compete in vert or vice
Yeah,
versa for Chris?
We both did.
Gotcha.
He skated street and I skated vert. I mean, Chris was great at street.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing he was. I don't remember. Like I want to say maybe he was second in street, you know,
Yeah, sure.
but I can't remember. And maybe I was like 5th in vert.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask if you skated vert also.
Yeah, I competed in vert first. I competed in vert for a long time. Like X Games, I skated street and vert.
Uh-huh.
I used to be all right at vert.
You had good spins.
I could
You
do
got
it. I had
good
some
air.
stuff.
It was just like tough when you saw like Cesar Moore blasting like 900 super high or Manuel Burris, or, just like
Yeah, there were
Scott-
guys that
yeah.
were actually good at vert. I mean, I
Yeah.
was okay for a street skater, but
No,
I was
you-
never like one of the top guys.
Did you actually like enjoy skating vert, or was it
I
kind of
loved
like a
it.
necessity for the
No, I
contest?
loved it. I mean, when I came up skating here, we had the clown ramp at skate time at Bachman. I skated at Jeff Phillips. Like I was always,
yeah.
vert was one of the first things I ever skated.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up on ramps really. So I always enjoyed it. And then when I moved to California and I lived at Spawn Ranch, we had a vert ramp in the backyard. So I always skated vert. And to me, it was always a part of like, my skating vocabulary.
Here,
Was
I
the
do have a
vert at
question.
Jeff Phillips as big as I remember it? Like it was a big vert, right?
It was a big vert.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
They had that big wall ride in the back too.
what do you mean?
Out of the street
It had a
course.
roll in. Oh, wait, what?
it was like the street course, like that came off the spine to like that big open bowl street course,
Yeah.
and then the vert was in the back left, and then
Yeah.
it had like a huge like
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
airwalk
vert
wall ride thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, 100%.
The bowl, man, Rapid was awesome.
Sean Robertson used to go up
Dude.
and then come and then front flip onto the deck of the
Dude, he
that
was the
big
best.
bold corner.
Dude, he was the best at Rapid. It was like a treat watching him there. It was so sick.
On the topic of vert, I saw they kind of had like a vert tryout for the U.S. team to represent on vert, but it didn't really seem like there were very many American vert skaters that could kind of compete with on an international level.
Yeah.
So are they still trying to have like vert representation in these games?
Yeah, and when you asked about how many people were qualifying or we can qualify from NISS, the truth is there are different disciplines. Like they have park and street are separate disciplines. We're not running a separate park and street contest, so we're just going to qualify 5 riders, 5 men and 5 women, and then let them choose. I guess we'll just say you're eligible for either. You can go and compete in park and street or park or street. It's up to you. As we get more established and this thing evolves, ideally we'll actually be running separate park and street events. But for right now, we just don't have the infrastructure to do it. We're not set up for that. Similarly with vert, that is another discipline.
I feel like there's not very many places to skate vert.
That's one of the problems
anymore.
And there aren't, right. And as you said, there aren't places to skate vert, and there aren't vert events. So there's just not a whole lot of American vert skaters anymore. But if you build it, they will come. Maybe if we start hosting events, if you know that if we give people the opportunity to go and skate at international events and world championships and the world skate games or the world games, whatever they're called, then maybe we will start growing kind of a vert population again.
You hear that, Colin? We have a resident vert skater who has to travel multiple states to go skate a vert ramp.
Who?
Colin Parrish. He skated ASA back in like the early 2000s, but he came back into it, and he is mainly a vert skater.
Is he showing up to any of these vert barbecues that they're doing?
I would have to ask him. I wonder if he's aware of it. He just kind of got back into blading, I think, like a year ago. Does that sound right?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
So,
Josh, can you bring up the NISS schedule again? Do you still have that open?
Yeah.
Because you'll notice a couple of those events are vert barbecues. So those are kind of like there you go, vert barbecue Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's where Nell lives.
And that's where Nell lives, huh?
Yeah.
He has that vert ramp in his...
And so they're doing those things kind of as a way to bring out the vert skaters. I'm not sure if any of those are going to actually lead to qualifying, Team USA vert skaters. Maybe they are. But definitely they're trying to build it into the programming.
You can at least get like an idea of like what are the talent pool is like for American vert skaters. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure like who really is, like I imagine like a Mark Engelhardt. I'm not sure he's still around, like people like that.
That was peak American vert skating.
Yeah.
Probably not around anymore.
Oh, real quick, I'm not making up the name Thumper Nagasako.
No, Hawaiian
That's
skater.
right. See, okay, thank you.
Have you talked about that in one of the other podcasts?
Yeah, I thought I was just making up a random name. No, Thumper is a gnarly vert skater.
Yeah, Thumper's rad.
All right, sick. Does anybody else have anything, or Arlo, do you have anything you want to say about NISS before we go on to another topic?
Definitely come out to Carriers Open. I mean, it's the first U.S. Championships. It's right here in Dallas, in Frisco. We're going to be hosting it. So it's a really cool opportunity to be a part of, well, in a sense, part of history, if this is our first U.S. Championships, but also part of like growing rollerblading and sort of expanding the opportunities for skaters to compete internationally. And that is the beginning. We're laying the groundwork for, for skaters to, have an opportunity to do something with skating beyond just kind of being amateurs or hustling for, a couple $100 here and there. If you can be competing on an international stage, if you have international championships, if you have U.S. championships, if, God willing, one day we're in the Olympics, all those things bring eyeballs, and eyeballs bring money. And so it is, it's a thing worth supporting.
Do you know what the prize money is going to be for the carriers? Has that been talked about yet? What we're looking at as far as what you're going to win if you place in the carriers competition?
It has been talked about. It's not settled yet because kind of like all the money that comes in goes to the prize purse. So it still remains to be seen how many vendors we're going to have, how many sponsors we're going to have, things like that. The city of Frisco, was a great partner in the last Carriers Open. They're partnering with us again. We have a goal in mind, but I feel less comfortable talking about the prize money than I do about the flights. So I think I'll just hold off on that one for now.
Yeah, you don't want to say too much and then dig yourself into a
Exactly
hole.
right, because we don't have that
$1
money yet, so-
million.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good purse last year. I remember. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but I know it was a hefty amount of money.
It was a
Yeah,
good
I think
wallet.
we did like $2,000 for first place and $1,000 maybe for second.
Woo. Yeah, that's good.
And we pay men, we pay the Bladies. So, but yeah, that is not settled yet. But we're trying to do we want to do at least what we did at the last Carriers.
We need to
For
get
sure.
Paul
Let's-
Mitchell, and we need to get Panasonic Shockwave back, baby.
And Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, that was a good one too. I
And
forgot about
Yoo-hoo,
Taco Bell.
Yoo-hoo.
Man, yeah, they had so many good ones.
Yeah,
And start giving away jet skis.
Yeah, I got some skates last year for my open
yeah,
prize.
yeah. You might get some again.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is Senate, since that was such a big part of all of our youths and such a large company in rollerblading. But before we kind of get into Senate, I want to ask you about the renewal of the Senate logo brand that I can't remember the guy's name, but he did say that, he reached out to you and he got like permission from you to use the logo and everything like that. So is that true? Is this something you're co-signing for him to, remake these old Senate logos and stuff like that?
Ooh. Oh
The
man.
AC's full blasting right now.
Oh, snap.
Look at that.
Uh-oh.
Is that an original?
Oh, dude.
Original.
Damn, what year is that?
95?
Wow.
Garage.
You know what you need with that,
95?
Arlo? You need the
Oh, Senate belt buckle, sick. Let me see that.
you can check the receipt on the back.
Yeah,
Wait, is that yours, Brady?
Yeah.
that's sick.
So what about this?
Oaks 12, right here.
Let me see that.
Let's do it.
Brady?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the guy contacted me
Man.
and he said, I want to do something with Senate. Do you care? Like if I use it? I'm like, you know what? I don't really care. I'm not doing anything with it. I said, but you really need to ask Heineken. I said, and that was all I had to do with it. And then I saw he started making a bunch of stuff, and it says somewhere, like Arlo approved or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like on the one hand, I think it's kind of funny because like when we did Senate, like we just knocked off a bunch of stuff too. And I used to always say, don't be too precious about copyrights. Like, art is art, like do whatever. And we definitely got our share of cease and desist, and we got sued once by Wrigley's, I think. But yeah, similarly, I have a similar attitude about this, like that the brand is out there. It means something to a lot of people. No one's doing anything with it. So if someone wants to do something with it, and make it accessible to skaters who want it, I think that's kind of cool. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't actually own any of that stuff. I happen to have been the guy who started the company with Brooke. But it doesn't mean that I am actually authorized to give this guy the go ahead to do it, but whatever.
Yeah, man, go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have to be the person to have like the actual final say if there
That's
was
what-
any type of legal issue?
That's why I told him to talk to Mark, because Mark stayed with the parent company, Tribe or Bravo, and then whoever bought them through all their different iterations. He stayed with them the longest. He's not with them anymore, as of I think just a few years ago. But if anyone knows, he would know. But maybe it's just a kind of thing like just shoot first, ask questions later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody would be too upset. And it's cool to hear that you're cool with it. I would imagine you seem like the type of person that wouldn't care. Like you said, art is art.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
What was the ultimate like demise of Senate? Why did it end up like not being a company? Did it have to do with kind of the downtrend in rollerblading popularity, or was there any specific reason why it kind of went under?
Well, first of all, I'm not sure that it went under. I mean, for all I know, it's out there somewhere. Like they kept making wheels and stuff for a long time. You could get them in like Dick's Sporting Goods.
That I was gonna ask you about that also,
Yeah.
but go ahead with what you were saying.
But all that's way after my time, so we're kind of talking about some things. But in its heyday, I left Senate not long after we were always owned by a bigger company. We were always owned by Bravo or Hyper Wheels originally.
Oh, I didn't know
the
that.
company that made Hyper Wheels. Yeah, it wasn't much longer after Brooke and I started Senate. We were making like grind plates in the garage and doing all that stuff, and we wanted to make anti-rocker wheels. That was essentially why we started the company, was to make little hard wheels for street skating. But you can't just pour urethane or polyurethane in your garage. Polyurethane?
Damn, with all the wheel companies that are popping up, you kind of think you could.
Yeah, I mean it's probably a little different now, but we found a company that poured skateboarding wheels and started buying wheels from them, just little skateboarding wheels from them, and printing our own graphics on it. After a little while of doing that, the owner of the company, Scott Peterson, I think, approached us and was like, "Hey, we could do something with this. Like, I think that there's something bigger here." And so essentially he made us an offer. We're like, "Yeah, let's do it." And that's basically what funded Senate. I mean, we couldn't have done it on, the budget we were working with, grind plates in the garage. But
is that how the first grind plates were made? Y'all were making them yourselves by hand or what?
Yeah, because Brian Kanoski, his dad had whatever, a machine shop in the garage or something, or an access to it. And so they were cutting the cold rolled steel and then, grinding out the grooves. And cutting out the holes in them. Yeah, they were literally handmade.
Wow.
And then we would bag them in like plastic sandwich bags and staple a header, a folded card on top that I drew graphics for. And those were the original Senate wrenches. Yeah, that was the first product we made, and those along with the C-Notes and Bribes, which were skateboard wheels that we bought from Bravo.
That's how Wrigley sued y'all, was from the Senate wrenches packaging.
Yes, that was after that was after we had a budget and after we were doing proper.
So Special K didn't do anything, like Crayola didn't try to do anything, like.
No, we got cease and desist from DC Comics for the super logo.
Oh wow.
Which is why we had to switch to the Halo logo.
Yeah.
And we got sued by Wrigley's, for the wrenches. Uh-huh.
Now back then the internet wasn't like it is now. How did these large companies find out about y'all's, modest skate company? Yeah, oh yeah, I forget how big rollerblading
I was gonna
was.
say, it wasn't that modest.
Was popping.
I'm thinking about okay.
No one cares, right? No one cares if you're making Senate gear now.
Yeah.
But back then it was not modest.
What's the best era of Senate?
What's that?
Best era that you think that they went through as far as clothing, wheels, quality of wheels, like what do you think the best era of Senate was?
Oh,
because Kill Team was really cool. Then you had Liberty Spike Core stuff, which I didn't really like the Liberty Spike Core too much.
Yeah.
Those kind of overlap though.
Yeah, I don't really know.
or the first, the first.
What was your favorite era?
Yeah.
Man, I'm liking the blueberry Special K, the collages, because I always like, how do you get a wheel to smell like blueberry?
Yeah.
The Kill Team was cool just because I like Josh Petty a lot during that time, and and then Louis and just like the whole team was really cool. Like, I would say Kill Team. I think the Kill Team, and y'all guys made a lot of cool stuff during the Kill Team.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good answer. I like that.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask about Kill Team because I'm kind of in the same boat as far as like Kill Team is my era. That's like, all that. But was it intentional that Senate kind of became a not an extension, but the FR crew was pretty much linked completely with Senate as far as like you got Petty, you got Feinberg, all those guys were kind of and what kind of came to be like Kill Team. Was that just kind of like a cool coincidence that this crew was kind of coming together and people were seeing FR crew as being cool, which made Senate cool, which made Kill Team cool?
That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, Petty and Joe were like my best friends. And yeah, it's interesting. I've never really thought about it that way, but there was so much overlap with Feinberg and Petty and Shane Scour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Which didn't turn into Franco Shade, correct?
Yeah, there's definitely more connection to Franco Shade and the FP crew.
I remember you guys had JC Rowe on too.
JC Rowe, of course. Yeah, he was part of that. But I'm not sure. It's probably just more coincidence, and just because we were all kind of the same people, the relationship between Senate and FP and anything else, there's more of a direct correlation between FP and Franco Shade. Obviously, they're both Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Here, real quick, Arlo, we got a super chat from Jeff Metz. Thank you so much, Jeff Metz. He wanted to ask you, who are your top 3 favorite skaters of all time? Sorry for the very loaded question.
Huh. Well, Broskow's got to be one, right? He's one of them. He's peak rollerblading.
It's a stumper. We try to talk about who our favorite skaters are, and it's the hardest question to answer.
Yeah, and there have been, I mean, throughout different stages of my life, I've had like ready to go answers. I'm not as prepared right now.
What about like back in the day? Name one. Who was one of your favorites back in the day?
It's so weird though. I feel like I don't know if I've ever thought about in terms of my favorite skater. I used to always just think about in terms of who are the best skaters, right?
Well, let's go with that.
And maybe there's a kind of the same question. I mean, it's kind of the same answers, but like all-time greats, all-time best skaters, people like Feinberg, Broskow, and Latimer. Those are kind of like Mount Rushmore skaters, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You only have to name 3, so don't stress yourself out too much. But,
well,
hey.
but there's one that I'm not mentioning, which I think is kind of unfair, which is Chris Haffey, because I mentioned Broskow as peak rollerblading. Haffey really is also. It's just that Broskow, whereas Haffey it seems kind of like it's not his focus anymore. Broskow still going, and so Broskow, like, he's been the best skater in every era, right?
Yeah.
And it's still going.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't put anyone above him.
Nah.
Yeah, Chris Farmer also, he's kind of one that's been good for so long and is still going hard. But I mean, there's so many good skaters. It's hard to narrow
And
it down.
there's a couple there's sort of like that category. There's a few people in that category as well. Frankie Morales is kind of like a farmer. Guys that are just that good for that long and still going. But then there are guys that just kind of like make such an impression in their era. Shima is one of them,
Yeah.
But now, like guys like David Sizemore,
He's one of my favorites.
Soichiro. I mean, yeah, I think there's so many skaters now that are really, really good. Julian Coudeau is ridiculous. Like, he is a modern day Aaron Feinberg. In every way, like, people hated Aaron Feinberg because he was such a good competition skater and they thought he was, an arrogant prick, whatever. And then it was only because of Shane and Mindgame, Shane taking it on as a personal project to try and make Aaron a credible street skater. Not that Shane had to teach Aaron how to skate. Aaron already was a great street skater, but just had to kind of market him, put him in, Mindgame videos, sort of change the narrative around Feinberg. No one has done something similar for Julian. Julian tries to do it himself, like puts out insane street sections. But I think that I don't think that he gets a very warm reception from street skaters. But
You're talking about Julian Coudeau?
Julian Coudeau, yeah, exactly. But like anywhere you put him, and it's like it used to be the case with Aaron. Anywhere you put him in a park, you put him in a competition, you put him on take him to a real street spot, he's going to rise above everyone else. He will just stand out. Julian is like that also.
Yeah, Brain for Gone was kind of like Aaron Feinberg's breakout street
100%.
edit. And it was almost a secret section also.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That was the whole part of like the brilliance of what Shane was doing, you know, like to surprise people with that section.
Now,
Julian was here. He went to Austin first, shot with Ant for his street section that he filmed with Ant, and then just filming here, it was ridiculous. Like his warm-up trick was like alley top acids on like big ass kink rails.
Yeah, he's just so good.
Yeah, he's so locked in. Like he really can just lock into what he wants to do and accomplish that exact thing. Fearlessness too. Like it just didn't seem like he was scared at all to do anything.
Well, and I'm sure that comes with with practice, right? You get so good.
Yeah.
Kind of you know what your capabilities are, and it probably slows things down for you a bit.
Okay, I have a question now. As far as,
and I know I'm gonna go home after this and be like, oh, dude, why didn't I mention? Like, there's gonna be someone like that.
Always.
How could you leave Stockwell out?
Always.
Yeah.
Like a homie too. Like, oh, you can't mention me.
we could name 50 great skaters. We got to move on. As far as running Senate, what would you say were the biggest challenges of running a skate brand back in the 90s? And then what do you see as far as the challenges being in like modern times right now?
Is that really an interesting question? What
You
were
could
the
be brief on
challenges of
it.
running Senate?
Versus if you were to run a skate company now. Were there any
The
challenges?
challenges are that there were thousands of people skating back then and spending money on skating, and there were Paul Mitchells, and now there's no money in the sport.
Yeah.
So it's much more challenging.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's all I got for Senate. Does anybody else have anything, or Arlo, you have anything else you want to just say about Senate?
No.
Or Brady, Jose, you have anything else you want to ask?
No, besides that, I like what you guys used to do on the back of the tags. How you guys used to put those little messages and stuff.
I didn't even look to see if this one had one of those.
I've never seen any other company do that besides you guys.
Whose idea was that, Arlo, to put the like destroy all girls and stuff like that on the tags?
Out of all the things it said.
I have a question too after this.
That was Brooke's idea.
Brooke Howard Smith?
No, I'm kidding.
You guys got on the news for it too, in trouble.
Yeah, it was my idea.
Did I imagine shave your head, kill your parents?
No, that was originally what it said. That when I did the tag. So we mentioned art once, like with in the context of Senate, but I always viewed. I mean, I wasn't a production graphic artist. Like, it just so happened that at Senate, because I had some kind of a predisposition for art and I had a background in art, when it came time to do things like packaging, people would be like, "Hey, Arlo, time to do packaging." But like, I'm not just sitting there trying to do a hang tag or a wash label for a sweatshirt. So for me, everything was an opportunity to like for art, to try and do something different. Like, I'm always looking at like, what can I do with this? And so, you write all the instructions, don't iron, machine wash cold, whatever, tumble dry low. And I'm like, I'm gonna put something here at the end of the tag. No one ever reads these things. It's like, to me, it was like the coolest kind of like subversive art, like just sort of. But in order for that idea to work, it had to be like because the idea was the juxtaposition of this completely forgettable, unnoticed label inside of a shirt. But then you've got to have this most absurd, obnoxious, abrasive message. That was the idea. For me, that was the art. And so I put "shave your head, kill your parents" is what I had on it.
I never saw that one. Brady brought that one up, and I never saw that one.
Because we never made that, because my business partners wisely said, Arlo, we can't do that, And I'm like, okay, but I wasn't giving up on the idea. So I'm trying to think, what can we put on there? And so I don't know if you guys know this, but I didn't come up with Destroy All Girls. That is a song lyric. There's a band called Scraping Fetus Off the Wheel, which is not like some band that I listen to, but one of my best friends in high school, he collected records, and Scraping Fetus Off the Wheel had really cool album art. I don't know if that's the only reason he bought the albums, but he had this Scraping Fetus Off the Wheel album. One of the songs, I forget what it's called. Maybe it's called Higgs Blood or something. I don't know. But one of the lyrics is Destroy All Girls. And so that kind of came to my mind. I'm like, okay. So I wrote that. And all the same people who thought that shave your head, kill your parents was a terrible idea, for whatever reason, they said, okay, yeah, we'll do that. And so that's what we did.
And that's the one that brought on the heat, right?
That brought on, well, yeah, it brought on the heat, but it also brought on the press. I mean, for us, when your whole attitude is to kind of just be like, countercultural or standoffish or whatever, punk, there's no such thing as bad press, especially if people are saying, oh, it's too controversial. That's kind of like that's what you're aiming for.
If you're trying to be antagonistic for someone to actually,
And right. And if it's, yes, if parents and businesses are going, oh, that's too whatever, that looks good for us. Cause it's like, okay, F you guys. Having said all that, I would not defend the statement Destroy All Girls. I don't think it's cool. If I had it to do over again, or if I had it to do today, I wouldn't do that.
You couldn't do that
because you had a daughter.
Nowadays.
Yeah, you also couldn't do it, but I recognize how hurtful it is. I don't think that it's a good look. So while I do think I will defend kind of the artistic intention of it, what I was trying to do, the juxtaposition, all that stuff. I'm not sitting here trying to make an argument or a case for that is a cool thing to say. I don't think that it was a cool thing to say.
You were just looking for something reckless at the time to surprise people.
Well, yes, but also I want to be careful not to totally misrepresent it, because it wasn't, to me, that would not really be it wouldn't be really very interesting or effective art to just try and go for the most shocking thing. Because I could have written on it like "fuck the police," or something like that. But it was coming from a real place. Again, I was a young man at that time, and for young people, like, we have, our emotions run hot, and like we are real idealistic, and like everything feels important, and nothing feels more important than like love, or like the longing for companionship, or validation from the people that you want to think, or you want them to think that you are interesting or attractive or whatever. You want them to like you. And for young heterosexual guys, you want girls to like you. And the case more often than not is that they don't. And so that manifests itself in young people as like frustration. So especially at the time, like in punk music and in rap music, there's a lot of, misogynistic themes, and it's all comes from this place of something that you want so bad, but that you can't have. And so then it becomes kind of the object of your resentment. So I was kind of giving voice to that, honestly. It was a very, inelegant, offensive way of doing it, but it really was coming from kind of an authentic place. Again, don't mistake that for justifying it, but just to give a little more insight into the actual inspiration for it. It wasn't just a matter of saying, hey, what's the most controversial thing I can do? It really was, I was trying to give voice to something, however misguided.
I mean, would you feel offended if there was like a woman's clothing that was like bash all boys or something like that? Like, I wouldn't feel offended. I think that's
different.
Cool. I think that's like,
yeah, but Sullivan, you have to remember, like, it's different being a guy than being a girl. You don't have to worry about going places and being bashed by girls. Yeah. Women, listen, I have a daughter. She learned very early that you can't make eye contact with people while you're driving your car, because that is a sign to guys that you're interested, and they will follow you, or they'll try to roll down their window. For women, it's uncomfortable, we don't give a second thought about going out for a run, you know, in the morning or in the evening. Women have to sweat that stuff. They have to worry about it. It is very different being a woman than being a different man. So it's not equivalent. You know, and
I'm learning day by day. Trust me, I'm learning
exactly.
day by day.
You've got a daughter, you've got a wife, so you know, or I'm sure you're exposed to it.
Understandable.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's hard to look back on like and not to bring out too far, but like when I read it at the time, it was kind of like you know, super angsty, of course, but like the idea of girls. But I never really thought about it like being actually hurtful to a girl to read it because they're not in on the joke.
Yeah.
They're not in on the what you're going for. Because to me, it's just kind of like this,
Silly.
like I said, an idea of it's really male insecurity kind of.
100%.
And so yeah, but I get that now. I just want to say I never really made that connection though of the difference.
Yeah, and that Brady, that's 100% it. Like we were in that, like that was our audience, that was who we were. I never thought about women reading it and having an opinion on it. Right? And that is, you know, that is a blind spot, or it was a blind spot for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tasha Hawkinson was on Senate, though, right? Did she have?
That's what I was going to say. But at the same time, but I've always been thoughtful about representation. Like, yes, we wanted to sponsor women writers, right? We had Tosh Hodgson.
Yeah.
So yes, that has at the same time also been something that we always thought about. You just got to, someone's got to figure out how to, you know, reconcile all those different things.
Word up. That was a great question, Brady. I'm glad you brought that up. I wasn't even thinking
Yeah,
about
that brought some depth.
I kind of did, but it's all good.
You said Brady was the brains of the operation, that he would ask the good questions.
Yes.
It only took us an hour to get to it.
Yeah, those
Brady's the intellectual, the rollerblading intellectual out of all of us. Me, I
I was
just put
saying-
it all together. Jose, Jose's our comic relief.
Bro, I'm the one who asked the question.
Oh,
What
you
the
did?
fuck are you talking about? I'm the one who told him about
All right,
the tag.
Jose gets the credit.
Okay. That's funny. I do want to move on to another topic. I want to talk about the skate video, What Do You Believe In? Because I think there was a lot of really interesting stuff in that video, and I kind of want to get your insight on it. First off, what was your role in that video? Because you were part of that video, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Goodness.
So that's
We're not going to ask about Jaren's ramps, I promise.
No, we are. That's one of the questions I have.
okay. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, because there's different themes throughout the video, and I kind of want to get your insight on them.
You know, before I answer that, Josh, I'm going to ask you, what do you think my involvement with the video was?
I'm sure you did the artwork.
Yeah. The rabbit and the cross. Uh-huh.
Yeah, we have it. Hold on one second.
Oh, sick. You have the video.
Yeah. So this definitely has Arlo written all over it.
Yeah.
I mean, did you edit it?
No, that's the one thing I didn't do.
Okay, you did everything else. So you kind of, what'd you do then?
But can I answer this before? Can I give my impression of what I thought you did, not knowing what you did? Because that was like also like me coming up, and I watched the premiere at Eisenberg's and all that, and it was a huge question among my friend group of like what your actual involvement was. And the art, of course, we saw. I had it in my head of you actually directing those scenes of Feinberg and Petty and those little skits. I thought there was probably the like the I guess I should say the cohesion of of all the sections going one to another. I felt like that was kind of written.
Oh, there we
written,
go.
Yeah,
okay, there we go. I knew I was gonna get that. I knew Joe Navron made this video. I'm a fucking idiot. Y'all know I never.
I didn't think you were
Definitely.
skating. I didn't think you were filming the tricks. I didn't think that was your role, but I thought it was like almost like a constantly off to the side of the camera situation.
Yeah. So all this stuff, those posters floating around, like the idea was, you know, throughout the video, even in the skating parts, like we have sometimes the rabbit walking in the background of a lot of the shots. We have posters set up. Yeah. And of course we did all this stuff with Shima. So yeah, I wrote it. I literally wrote a script. I directed these scenes more or less with Joe. And I sat with Joe while we edited, but Joe was the editor. The first section, the Richard section, actually, I said, I don't really want to touch that. I just want that to be pure FP Joe Navron. So that's why it's the only section that's in color. This is just that Joe just did Richard's section.
I was going to say, it definitely stands out from the rest of the video. It's kind of got a different vibe.
It is. And that's by design. And because the conceit here, kind of the idea was Shima just put video into the cassette player and he fast forwards. The idea is Joe had just released a video called Higher Power.
Yeah.
The future of rollerblading 2.
Future of rollerblading 2, exactly. And he asked me, he said, what should I call this? Or actually, maybe he asked me to do the cover art for it, which I did and had a Jesus on it. And I think I said, I'll do the cover art if I can name the video. And he said, okay. And so I called it Higher Power. And then that was before we did this. And I thought, I was like, damn, I wish I would have saved that name for this. I wanted to call this Higher Power, but I'd already given him that for 4.2. So we called this What You Believe In. But so the idea was at the end, and you'll also notice on the cover of Higher Power, I put a white rabbit on it. So at some point we started to realize, okay, we're going to do What You Believe In. So we started to make like Easter eggs for What You Believe In. And the beginning of this video is Shima putting, allegedly, the idea is he's putting 4.2 into the cassette player. I don't know if you could see the cover. I'm not sure if it was. That is the idea. It's supposed to be that video. And then what's on the screen is the end of 4.2. Yeah. And then he fast forward. So it's the idea. It's like it's the secret section is Richard, which is the beginning of What You Believe In. I don't think anyone ever gets that, but that is kind of the idea. That was the whole conceit behind that. Yeah. So he's fast forward. Oh, so I think maybe we did put that frame. Is that frame at the end of 4.2?
Yes, there's a whole section of a What Do You Believe In part at the end of 4.2.
Okay.
And it has that Cardigan song.
Okay, 6. So
Wait,
yeah,
this
so we did
this frame right here.
Well, it's a almost like it's a shorter montage, and I don't know how to describe it better, but there's the What Do You Believe In logo, I believe hits at the very end of it.
Okay, well then it was probably that.
Yeah.
And see the rabbit there?
Oh, we're gonna get to the rabbit.
And don't ask me what does the rabbit mean, because there's not an answer. I know it's a question everybody asks, but
Is the Matrix follow the White Rabbit?
yeah.
Did you ever consider like just coming up with some good answer? Not a good, but like a silly but serious answer of what the rabbit means?
Probably. I mean, I used to get that question a lot, obviously closer to when it came out, and so we talked about it a lot. And I'm sure there were good answers, but there's not really a good answer.
Who was in the rabbit suit? Was it one person, or was it just anybody who was around that was able to put it on and walk around and be in the background of the shots and everything?
It's pretty funny. At the end of the video, in the credits, there is we list everybody who wore the suit, and there's a lot of people in there. Billy Prislin, Tyler Shields, I think, is one of them.
Okay.
Maybe Billy Prislin's girlfriend or something. But it's a long list. It's like everybody, you know, it's like you said, whoever was around that we could get in the suit, we did it.
Did y'all try to get it in like in the background of every shot? Because I know it's not in every single shot, but it's in most of them.
So there were things there. Obviously, stuff's a lot easier to write and conceive of than to actually execute. And so, yes, originally I thought, the rabbit's gonna be in the background of every shot, Shima's section. Obviously, that we couldn't really do that. So much of the tricks in Shima's section ended up he shot on his own and sent them to us. Like we didn't even get to shoot everything with him. But we got enough shots that you kind of get the idea. Same thing with John Elliott's section. Like I wanted posters in every section, in every shot in his thing. We didn't quite get that, but we did get a lot of posters and flyers in John Elliott's section. And for Jaren's section, this is the one that I probably screwed up the worst. He was supposed to be wet because in his intro, he wakes up in a bathtub. And so I'm like, he's just gonna be soaking wet for his whole section.
You can see it right there, like his hair.
It looks like his hair is wet the whole time.
Always
for sure.
But
He's got the Paul Mitchell product in it, faux show.
Right. So that's the thing. That was me kind of doing a disservice to Jaren because people are like, oh, is he just like sweaty or like greasy or gross, whatever?
I think it's hilarious.
But because it would have only worked if he was like soaking wet, like shirt and pants just like soaking in his hair, soaking wet.
But clean shaved the whole time, right?
Yeah. But what happened, what you don't realize when you're riding is how do you get someone soaking wet at every spot? Like I thought we just pull up and grab the nearest hose, but that's not how the world works, right? There's not water hoses everywhere you go. So we bought these giant like tubs, these giant containers, and like I'm like, okay, well we'll fill them up and we'll take these containers to the spots. But that's not even close to enough water for what you need to have someone be soaking wet for the whole thing. So we ended up just kind of giving up. And so he's just kind of wet for some parts of it. It's just, that part didn't work exactly.
So was there something with there being like a board?
This is great though.
In a lot of his clips. Was that a thing y'all were doing, or it just happened to work out that way?
It happened to work out that way. We didn't say we're going to take ramps or take boards. And Jaron got a lot of grief for that. Back in the day, I think people now it wouldn't be as big of a deal. And
those spots are crazy. The spots that he were doing was crazy though.
Like we were taking
to bring the board in, it was even crazier to me.
Yeah, and it's not like we were taking Jaron out alone. We were always going out with crews, with groups of skaters, and the stuff Jaron was doing was hard. Like other people were trying the stuff he was doing.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was scary stuff.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
We don't really have like the whole animosity, or not like park rat is not really a thing anymore.
That exactly. So Jaron, right? No. Jaron was a park skater, and so I think he didn't get the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I thought the joke was, or not the joke. The theme is that because this was his first street section that I ever saw him, and I knew him from ASA and. I think the X Games are around at this time, right? Yeah, he was skating all those big competitions and killing them and everything. So I thought that was like a theme.
Bring the park to the streets.
Yeah. That's what I always thought. But it just ended up being like that.
We wanted him. We were begging him to try and do a 900 off that thing.
Oh, damn, that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
I used to always think Jaron Grove was badass though, because I came up skating 2005, and that's when Aggressive Inline was out, and he was on the cover, and then I saw him like on VG22, some clips, and then I saw this video, and I'm like, I saw him like as an X Game skater, but I also see him too like as a street skater.
Yeah.
Like he brought that park energy into the street.
Yeah.
Who knew he could true top porn stair rails at the time?
Yeah.
You know? But I remember when all the heat was coming on Jaron, I felt kind of like an outsider because I grew up on like watching Jaron win the X Games. Like he's the whole reason like I got further into blading, and so I was stoked on this section, and I heard all my buddies are making fun of it and joking. I'm like, yeah, totally. But I'm like, that was really sick, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's how it goes, Brady. Like, unless you already had that bias, there's no reason to think that this was not cool. If you come into it with an open mind, it's rad. That shirt that he's wearing, it's just a black shirt that says "fuck" embroidered on it. I had that made at a swap meet, and I still have. We made a couple of them. I still have those in my garage.
What's the last directed like skate video that's been made? Because back then, like Brian Smith would direct like some cool. That was one of my questions. Sorry to bring this up. Senate Day of the Rope or Night of the String? What was your favorite section between both of those videos for you? Not to take off this video, but like I watched both of them today, and I was like, they're so different.
Yeah.
But Brian Smith directed the kind of Night of the String and kind of had like prop stuff in it, and I feel like he directed movies, kind of like as you were saying, kind of written, directed them.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I went harder for Night of the String.
That was awesome.
And in the finishing trick, I thought was cool. There were a couple of things.
You 360 off the roof. I mean, you 360 off that roof, like into the bank.
Yeah.
Like that was awesome.
I thought that was cool. So I think that was probably a better section.
That's awesome. Sorry to take away from that.
Is Selena in here? How'd she do that? Hi, Selena.
Where in the chat?
Yeah, I just see someone says, "Sup, Selena." Is that from YouTube?
Yeah.
Is that where that chat is?
Yeah, it's a YouTube chat.
Oh, yeah, and this came together really well.
His section was cool.
Yeah.
Was it hard for him to skate while having flyers thrown at him? Did that ever cause any?
And you know where I got the idea for that?
Where?
Here's an FP part, but I think it's a Mindgame video.
Awesome.
There is John Elliott in a section in a Mindgame video. That exact thing happens. I think someone throws flyers at him or something. And I just remember thinking that's so weird. And it just, for me, it just turned into an idea for an entire section. I'm sorry that I don't have a better, more specific reference for that, but it definitely was inspired by something that I saw in a different section.
So like in A Brain Fear Gone, his section?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
If anybody can come up with it, I'd love to revisit that and find out what the actual original inspiration was.
I always think of that one clip in the section. I can't remember. I think it's a Cesslight, whatever it is, but someone really nails him with the flyers and being like, wow, that was, that one was a little more than the others, if that, how that, really affected him. But this is such just a dope section all around.
And so you asked about the rabbit suit, but we also had to get people like, and we put them in all these, we bought like gas masks and we bought like, we made shirts and like armbands and stuff and like made all these. I don't even remember who we had do it, wear all that stuff.
Did y'all have the rabbit suit, or did y'all have to go get it just for this video?
We rented the rabbit suit. I think we actually had a couple of different ones. The one under Shima's bed at the end, spoiler alert, is different than the one that we had people walking around in, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
And that one, I made that mask at home.
Is that just like paper mache?
No, it's actually probably like poster board or yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a different rabbit. You see its face is all smashed. And
I would have loved to do that. Just go to a rail and you're rolling up on the rail and all these people just throwing stacks of paper at you. You're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Try to hit the rail. You're throwing stacks of paper at me. Get some paper airplanes, fool. Like, get on my way, man. Let me get my trick.
Newspaper blowing around. Okay.
That'd be tight. Y'all want to throw some paper at me? Let's go. Let's go to the skate spot. I think it'd be tight.
Oh, and Petty's section.
Yeah, I was
Petty's
gonna ask about
sections of
Petty's.
this were so dope.
Yeah.
Was this the one where he had the 3 sections with the 3 different songs?
Yep.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
hip-hop,
I remember that.
Drum and bass, and then the Pink Floyd song at the end where he just goes all out.
Yeah. And this was after Petty, he'd been going through like a lot of injuries, a lot of trouble with his knees. And so he hadn't come out with anything for a while. I think people were probably, sleeping on Petty, like that he's not really doing anything. And so for a lot of people, this was like, whoa, Petty's still got it.
I like the, since I've been making sections since you were skating around in a fucking helmet.
Yeah. And we literally bought a real rabbit for this thing. I mean, this is this is just kids with no budget.
Forgot about the actual rabbit.
Yeah. And I think Petty's the one who ended up keeping it. He kept it as a pet.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole 3-part section.
That rail is crazy high.
It looks like shoulder high. Massive. I always just think of that back fast slide to fake he does the departments.
In fact, when I wrote the script, Petty had a very small part. It wasn't until we were going to all the spots and we were skating, Petty was working harder than anyone else. Like he was putting in work. And so I'm like, oh man, we've got to give Petty a bigger part. And so that's when his involvement in the video started changing. I rewrote the script to feature Petty more prominently because of his skating.
Because of the amount of clips he got?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it was hard to get clips from John Elliott and Shima. They were, whereas Petty was putting in work, they were not. Like it felt like pulling teeth with them. Like they wouldn't. Yeah, it was hard.
I wonder if that motivated him, like originally not having that big of a part in it and being like, wait, I'm Josh Petty. Like, why am I not being? And then that could be like the fire that's lit.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but it's like, this is like I'm spending every day hanging out with Petty. Petty was Navron's roommate, so he was always there. You know what I mean? It was easiest for him to be available and to skate, but he did. He showed up.
It's like, look who you get to skate with. Look who's on the couch. Like how could you not be motivated to go skate? You got young Richard. You got Feinberg. You got kind of an older Kevin Gillen, but he's still getting it. You got, it's like, man, like what a great squad to go out and get clips with. Like, how could you not be motivated every day?
Yeah, for sure.
This was such a great section because I didn't think he had all these damn tricks. Yeah. He's doing back fast slides. He's doing, like it was a crazy section for me. And then he did it in all the different types of music too. It was tight.
And you have access to like all these spots, but they haven't yet been destroyed to where they're at now. So they're really getting to like put their mark on all these spots that we go to for fun, but we know we're not even pull a camera out because there's no reason.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That was nutty.
Yeah.
All right.
Boom. And the rear.
Hey, real quick, everybody. We got about 40 people watching. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Be sure to like the video. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. I appreciate it.
Bless on bless.
Get my plug in real quick.
Bless.
But yeah, definitely one of my favorite videos from my youth. We used to watch this video pretty much every day before we went out and skated.
That's cool, man. I enjoyed that. I didn't know you had like behind the scenes and doing scripts and all that for this. I saw this video a lot when I was a kid. Yeah, and it was super dope. And now that I know that you were behind all that, makes it more cool.
Yeah, I guess I could have just read the credits for it. Yeah, I mean, I just watched the skating,
No, for real, I did. That's all I did.
There was a whole thing.
I saw Arlo's name on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I didn't read like, this and that. I was just like, all right, rewind, watch it again from the beginning.
Same here. Like, I knew that he was a part of it. I didn't read the credits or anything. Though.
When you say
always skip the credits. I'm sorry. Like
when you say you didn't read this, and that, you're talking about like it's 4 words, or what?
It's
written and directed. Arlo Eisenberg. It was like
there was
5
no
words.
skating on the screen. I wasn't looking.
Yeah.
I should have at least got that far into the video because I knew I wanted to bring it up. I'm terrible about researching everything.
You said you didn't even know that Joe edited.
No, I knew that. I forgot because I love Joe Navron. He made some of my favorite videos.
Yeah,
he was sick. Well, actually, now is that a what are you wearing? Is that a Drug Receipts?
This was an early
brand?
collaboration we did with Dead Wheels. This was Drug Receipts and I guess collaboration with Vibrolux. Drug Receipts and Vibrolux.
Well, that's kind of the next thing I wanted to talk about is Drug Receipts. One of my questions is like, was Drug Receipts set out to be a rollerblading brand, or was it just kind of like your art? Like, what was the thing behind that?
It was a couple of things. I mean, yeah, first and foremost, it was art. It was just me. It literally was just art. I was just doodling on receipts. Then Brooke, my partner from Senate, we started Senate back in the day. Brooke went back to New Zealand, and he didn't just go back to New Zealand. I had his visa revoked or something.
Wait, you did?
You sent him back?
You got him kicked out?
Yeah. I mean, it was an accident, but he, we traveled a lot for skating. We were always traveling, and Brooke overstayed his visa in the U.S. because he's from New Zealand a lot. But this is all pre 9/11, and he used to just be able to just kind of always bullshit his way back in. And one time I was at Jess Darenforth's house in Laguna Beach. We used to work down there on Daily Bread a lot, and so I spent a lot of time in Laguna Beach, and I spent the night at Jess and Angie's houses a lot. And so in the middle of the night, Jess gets a phone call and he wakes me up, you got a call. I'm like, hello. And they're like, this is so-and-so from the whatever, what do you call it? INS?
Yeah.
What is that? And he's like, do you know Mr. Howard Smith, Mr. Brooke Howard Smith? And I said, yeah, of course. He's like, do you mind if I ask you some questions? He said, we've got him here. He's whatever. We're at the airport. And I said, yeah, of course. So they're like, do you and Mr. Howard Smith work together? And I said, yeah, we're partners with Senate. And they're like, I don't know, whatever it was. I thought I'm doing him a solid just answering these questions. The next morning when we wake up, I get another call from Brooke, and he's like, mate, you really fucked me over. I'm like, what? He's like, they sent me back to New Zealand. Like, I can't come back in the country. I'm like, what? He's like, you can't tell them that I work in the US. He's like, I don't have a work visa. I don't have a green card. Like, he's like, I'm not supposed to be working in the US. And you just told them, yeah, he's my business partner, whatever. And so they revoked his visa, and they like stamped his passport so that like he was banned from the US for like 5 or 7 years or something. And he was my business partner at the time. We were doing Senate. This was like the height of Senate. So it was a really weird time to accidentally get him kicked out of the country, but whatever, he made the most of it. So he became a big
That's ridiculous.
He became a big television star. Yeah, see, Sullivan's wearing the shirt
Yeah.
for this. Yeah, that looks cool.
I had to put it on.
Yeah, cool. Nice colors.
Yeah, it is a good color.
Yeah.
Wait,
Like a
what did he go on to
rose
do, Arlo? What you said he became a big TV star?
Yeah, he became like a presenter for like, I mean, I don't know exactly. I think he did like sports, and he was probably like the Dan Cortez of New Zealand, but like bigger. Like if Dan Cortez actually had a whole career and not just a flash in the pan on MTV Sports. But like to the extent that they just, have you guys ever heard of the show Traders? Is that the name of the show? It's some kind of like reality game show where they take a bunch of kind of like celebrities, and that one of them is a trader, but they don't know which one it is. And so whatever and it's like Survivor or The Amazing Race. It's one of these things that, they have multiple episodes. But so on the New Zealand version of it, just a couple of years ago, Brooke was one of the people on it. That's just to give an idea of, the kind of celebrity I guess he has in New Zealand. But so another thing that he did, he's an entrepreneur. He started a company that somehow got into NFTs, and they had a big NFT launch and made millions of dollars. It was a huge success. And so he calls me up and he says, "Hey, Arlo, I've got this great thing going with we're doing these NFTs, and I thought about your art. I think we could do something really cool. Are you interested?" And I'm like, "Sure, tell me more." And I didn't know anything about NFTs.
And that's a non-fungible token, is what you're talking
very
about.
good. Exactly. Yes.
I'm into the crypto,
very
blockchain
good.
stuff.
Nice. And so I said, well, instead of coming up with a whole new creative IP to make some kind of an NFT, like I've been drawing these receipts for years, and so I've already got like a whole bunch of characters and stuff that we could just turn into an NFT release. And so I showed him the drug receipts account, and he's like, "Yeah, great, let's do it." And so that ended up becoming Drug Receipts, the NFT project. So when you ask what was Drug Receipts, was it like rollerblading focused? No, it started out as an art project. It became an NFT project. Anything that I do, rollerblading is a part of it, just because it's so much a part of who I am and my identity. So we had, in the collection, we had rollerblades, and in my drawings, I always include rollerblades. It's just part of who I am. That doesn't mean that they were specifically like, I wasn't going to skate events necessarily. I mean, I guess that's not even true, because as soon as we did Drug Receipts, one of the first things we did was we went to Blading Cup. So I guess with the NFT project, I guess because they're two different things, it's kind of two different answers. The art thing, there's nothing to do with it. It wasn't the art thing when I was just drawing on receipts. There was nothing to monetize there. It wasn't a commodity. It was just an art thing. It was stuff that I was posting on Instagram. So I guess there was no target audience for it other than anyone who I hoped would find any interest in it. But then once we did the NFT release, yeah, I guess rollerblading is a part of that, because that's just a natural part of my audience. Now, if you thought rollerblading shit the bed and and fell off, NFTs, like hold my beer, right? NFTs,
I was gonna ask you about that, because they kind of went bust pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Did you at least get a chance to get in on the hype whenever y'all were doing this?
Yeah, we were like one of the last projects to like sell out. So we had a successful project. I didn't make a ton of money off of it because we didn't realize that we were at the end of the hype train. So we kept putting all that money back into the company until basically it was gone. It was a fun run. I mean, I basically got to live like this magical life for 2 years where we're just doing art and basically had a budget to do whatever we wanted. And, we're going to events and like, making merch and all this stuff. So it was a really fun ride, but it was sad to watch all that money go and just to see kind of the air go out of the bag.
Are NFTs still a part of the brand? Or I assume probably not.
Well, they are. We released 10,000 NFTs and we sold them. So people own them. I have a bunch of them, and there are people that own them. And those don't go anyway. They don't go away. They're still on the blockchain.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe, maybe things will change in the market. Maybe someday there will be more of an appetite for NFTs. Maybe there will be more utility in them. Listen, I said that I didn't know anything about NFTs before Brooke presented it to me. And kind of my first understanding of it, the first thing that I thought about it, or the first way that I thought I understood it, was like it was art. Like this was a digital commodity. It's a way to create value in JPEGs, essentially, by making them unique, where it's something that you can actually own. But that ended up not being enough, at least not initially. Like people needed more utility, more value. Like, what do they do? Like, do they get me into events? Do they get me access to exclusive things? It's like you had to start trying to make up all these things to make people believe that there's value in them, because I guess the artistic value is not enough on its own. And all that started to make me a little disillusioned with it. Like I was excited. It's like, oh, people want my art, and like it's cool to own art. But it ended up not being just that, or that wasn't enough. It still may be one day. Maybe there are probably still people that own their Bored Apes, and maybe those are retaining their value better than ours are, and maybe one day 30 years from now, the people that own the original Bored Apes will be, they'll be worth a lot of money. Maybe the same thing is true of people that own the original Drug Receipts collection, but where it sits right now, there's not a whole lot of value in it. And that's all just, that's just speculative and just depending or counting on a lot of things to happen, which are totally out of our awareness right now.
Mm-hmm.
But so, yes, but since we saw that NFTs were losing steam, we started focusing more on tangible stuff, not making it so much about the NFTs, but actually focusing on the soft goods, the event side of it. Yes, exactly. Things like this, the kinds of things that I've always done anyway. So, this is kind of like an extension of, if you follow the thread from Senate to Franco Shade to Ghost Brand, Drug Receipts, it's just all kind of the same kind of stuff.
You say Franco Shade. I didn't know, and I'm probably an idiot, that you were behind Franco Shade. You were behind Franco Shade as well? Yeah, John, take your hands off your face. I'm an idiot.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, Franco Shade was Joe Navron's company, but I was the creative director. Yeah, I did all the graphics for Franco Shade.
I loved Franco Shade. That was probably like my favorite company back in the day. It felt exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
I guess I think they sold it at Eisenberg's. That's probably, I think they sold it at Eisenberg's. I don't remember where I would end up getting Franco Shade. Maybe not, but it just felt exclusive as far as rollerblading clothes went. Like it was kind of hard to get. Not everybody was rocking it, and it was sick.
I think like the marketing and promotion was really like it felt exclusive because the most exclusive rollerbladers were wearing it.
Yeah,
and I think for a bit before it was actually available, so it kind of became like, oh, I can actually buy this stuff now.
Where these hats come from?
What's that?
Where these hats come from? Jose got a black hat on. Brady got a nice fresh hat on.
No, we've got one for you because Jose's already got one. So there's one there for you.
Yeah, I already had one.
Okay, I was like, just because I can't be there, I mean, I still would like a nice fresh hat. Y'all look real nice on that couch, real comfy. I should have been there.
Make sure that John gets a hat.
My bad, y'all.
Yeah, John, I'll get you your hat. You know how good I am.
You know, it's funny. I don't even wear hats.
John, don't worry. I'll bring it to you because Josh always forgets everything.
I got you.
I'll put it on. I'll put it on the trophy mantle because since
Josh,
I cut my hair, I don't ever wear hats.
Josh, you know that Ghost Brand banner that you have hanging there?
Yeah,
on your wall. You know that logo we used for Franco Shade.
This one in the background.
Yeah, the Ghost and Knives.
Yeah.
Did you know we used that for Franco Shade?
No, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
The most of the Franco Shade stuff I remember is like the elephant.
Yeah, that was
like the elephant being one of the main logos. And then I kind of want to talk to you about your art and influence. If you just, because you have a very unique style, is there anything you attribute to that style? Like what brought you to do, like, real thick lines, real solid colors, stuff like that? Like what influences your art?
Well, yeah. First, let me finish something you were saying about Joe. I just wanted to, you were saying what you guys were saying about Franco Shade, about the great marketing and like the how it felt exclusive and all that stuff. That's all Joe. That Joe did that same. Joe was so good at like you know, putting together a crew and like giving stuff a vibe and a feel. He did it in his videos, but they lived it. Like, you know, that was their lifestyle. Josh and Joe and Aaron and, you know, the whole crew and Billy and Shane. And so Franco Shade was kind of like the clothing version of that, right? That was putting it into a brand. And I created graphics for it, but initially, you know, it was under Joe's direction. Like I was trying to tap into his aesthetic.
It was kind of like a hip hop. I felt like it kind of had a hip hop
for sure
feel.
For sure. And then as it went, it started going more into my vibe, where I was doing more of the cartoony, like bright and bold stuff, as you say. And that's probably what honestly led to our split eventually. Like our creative directions were a little different. Because at some point Joe's like, you know, I think it'd be better if we went our separate ways. Like I thought we were cool. Like I thought stuff was going great, but for whatever reason, Joe wanted to split up. And so I'm like, and he said, you know, you can keep the logo. And I'm like, okay, great. So that's why I started Ghost Brand and just kept the Ghost and Knives. And I made him a new logo for Franco Shade. Like we were still cool. But yeah, I just want to make that clear. One, give Joe his props, right? He brought a lot of kind of creative and marketing genius to all the projects he was involved in. But then also that I think provides a segue for us to talk about my graphic style.
Mm-hmm. So how did that start to be? And then this was while you were with Franco Shade, but then you kind of started this new graphic style and that kind of merged into your own thing.
No, I always had the graphic style. I mean, I did Senate before I did Franco Shade, and I did graphics for Senate, like the original Center graphic, which this Drux one is a variation of. Do you know what graphic I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like the circle jerks kind of dude.
Kind of, yeah. But so initially with Franco Shade, like I said, I wasn't just doing my art. I was trying to, help Joe fulfill his vision. Like I was trying to manifest that. Then as I started bringing more of my own style into it, it's not like I created a new style. I already had a style. I just started showing more of it in the Franco Shade stuff we were doing it. And then I just continued that with Ghost Brand. And now Drug Receipts.
What about the contest you guys had, the Nobody Cares for a sponsor?
Yeah.
Who was that?
That's Joe's idea.
That was Joe's?
Yeah. I mean, okay. I did the art for it, but that was Joe's idea 100%. It was really sick.
Okay. Yeah, the group chat brought it up, and I just remembered about it. My boy Jeremy won. That's why.
I was going to say, I fell in love with Jeremy. Jeremy, what's his last name? Soderbergh, exactly, yeah. The section he turned in for that was like, I thought was like the coolest thing I'd ever seen, like the coolest thing in rollerblading. He had dreadlocks back then. Yeah. Like his style was so good. Yeah, it was so good, dude.
Man, my boy Micah, we submitted a section of him for that contest. I think he should have won. Micah Samang. I could pull it up right now.
I think you thought it was.
Yeah, let's see it.
You thought it was in the bag.
Yeah, dude, I thought he had it.
You didn't see Jeremy's section.
I
haven't seen Jeremy's. I only watched. I saw Micah's. I saw Jake Dotson's.
He did have the LA hype behind him too.
I gotta watch it now because I remember that era.
But he killed it. He did.
And I said the Tyler Hester section.
Oh yeah, Tyler Hester had a section too. Yeah. Damn, there was a lot of good ones.
Oh yeah.
That was a cool
promotion. Where was my section at? I didn't even know about this. I be sleeping or slip. I got oil under my feet because I was slipping. I was straight slipping.
Although, who picked the winner for that competition?
I think it was probably like by committee. I mean, I'm guessing ultimately Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're really happy with the results, in which case I had a say.
Yeah.
I like the results.
Okay, yeah, I helped.
That's Jose's boy. Well, that's great. I want to get into if you're ready to move on. Are you ready to move on, Arlo?
It's your show.
Okay, yeah, let's move on. Because I want to save
Ask
time.
you for permission for the next question.
This is the Arlo show today.
Yeah.
Arlo the man, it's the Arlo show. But I want to get into kind of more modern times and what you're working on currently with the Ministry of Skepticism. And, there's very little information online. I got your Instagram pulled up. I'll bring it up here. But if you want to kind of talk to what that is and what's going on with the Ministry of Skepticism.
I brought the prayer book.
Sick.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
I said for the Seven Seal Baptist, this is Pastor Terry. I'm coming down
in the
on
back.
the now, son of Charles. That's my pastor voice. I think it's great. I need to get in the movies with this thing.
Brought stickers too.
Oh, sweet.
These are drug receipts and Ministry of Skepticism stickers.
Circle one. Yeah. Look at you. Yeah.
Hey, save one for me.
I'm gonna put them right here. We'll go through them later.
I'm missing out on hats.
the best one.
I'm getting those stickers. I'm getting nutchy.
John, you gotta be in person if you want the goodies, dog.
It's 2
Yeah,
different ones.
Wednesday's a tough day to come.
Stickers.
That's sick.
Oh, that's what's up.
Right?
What is the
I'm putting
order?
that on my water mug.
You got one for me?
I'll grab one for you.
Yeah, fool. Come on now.
I mean, it's because they only made one of these round ones, but I'll grab one of these other ones for you. Oh no, look.
Wait a second. There ain't another one of those round ones
Yep,
for
there
me?
is. I got it. I got you.
It'll go right here on my bottle. Right here on my Yeti.
So we've got the Skeptics Toolkit, which is excerpts from Carl Sagan's book, The Demon Haunted World.
Are you familiar with that book?
I have read some Carl Sagan. I have not read that book. It's good as a candle, Science as a Candle in the Dark, 1995. But this is.
So
Okay.
we've had 2 services already, and our next one's coming up in October 18th. And it's a new religion of sorts, which is a completely insane thing to say, right? That we're starting a new religion. In fact, I haven't perfected a nice way of saying that yet, or like a way where you can kind of smooth the edges on a little bit. But it may just be that it's such an audacious thing to say that there is no really easy way to say it. And I fully recognize that anytime you start talking about something like that, people will have all kinds of thoughts about it. I know John has thoughts about it, which I'm happy to talk about. It's why I'm here. Nothing's off limits. And yeah. So what is the question? Why, or what is it?
What is it? How did you come to want to do this? What's the backstory behind it?
So are you guys familiar with the Majestic 12?
Yeah.
This Rosa skate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do y'all know that I played a role in developing that skate?
Yes.
And I played a role in naming that skate. So,
and it's named after is it like fighter pilots that would like chase UFOs or something like that?
Not exactly, but it's the right ballpark, right? It was some like secretive organization that had to do with aliens or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's all about like top secret governmental stuff, like with access to information that's being withheld from the public about contact with aliens and things like that. But I was way into that stuff. It's why we called the skate the Majestic 12, and we were all into it. Like Jess was into it, and Tom Fry was into it. Like this, and Shane Coburn. Like this was like really like titillating, fascinating stuff. And so I would on flights, since I would go on a lot of I traveled a lot, and I did a lot of international trips, going to contests and to exhibitions and to trade shows and stuff like that. And I would always read. I loved to read on the airplanes, and I would just buy a bunch of magazines. I'd go into the newsstand, pick up the latest Discover, Scientific American, I'm just things that I'm interested in, the latest Newsweek, whatever. And once, as I was scouring the newsstand, I saw a magazine that had like a picture of like a UFO, and it said like Roswell, like the true story, or like what really happened at Roswell. And it had maybe some other headline was like, Bigfoot, like what's the latest evidence or something like that. And I'm like, whoa, like this is like, you know, they're like really going deep on this stuff. And so I took the magazine out and I looked at it, and it's like, it was all black and white. Like there's no color photos inside. There weren't even much photos at all. It was like all text. And I'm like, man, this is like hardcore. Like this is real investigative journalism, but like they're going in on UFOs and Bigfoot and stuff like that. And so I was interested in that stuff. And so I'm like, okay, maybe this is like getting closer to the truth, whatever. And so I read it cover to cover on that flight, wherever I was going, probably to Germany or something. But the magazine, the headline, the name of the magazine was Skeptic. It's Skeptic Magazine. I didn't know what that meant. It just sounds like you're skeptical of the narrative, you know, you're skeptical of what they're selling you. But what I discovered when I read the magazine was that all these things, when they looked at Roswell, you know, they'd present the story, you know, what happened to crash in Arizona or New Mexico, wherever it is, and all this stuff that they're talking about. But then they would investigate each piece of evidence, each claim that's made. And as they looked into each of these claims, they would fall apart under scrutiny. So that by the end of this investigation, it looked like there was no credible case for a UFO crashing at Roswell, which was surprising to me. But I'd never considered or never even seen this kind of approach to claims where you could investigate and look into each claim. And for every article in this magazine, they did the same thing. I saw them like sort of do a deep dive on every claim being made. And all these things would like wither under the lights. They would fall apart under scrutiny. And this was my introduction to skepticism. I discovered that there is a systematic way to approach knowledge and to approach claims. And so from then on, I started to consume more and more of this kind of content. I kept buying Skeptic magazines. I started seeking out like skeptical authors. And I started I already had an interest in kind of popular science, and I just kept consuming that information. So for almost as long as as I was a professional skater, because this was very early in my touring days, I also discovered skepticism, and I've been studying and advocating for skepticism. And to this day, I think that it is kind of one of the most important things, probably also one of the most urgent things that we can teach or offer. I raised my daughter. I taught her kind of the tools and techniques of skepticism. But so anyway, all this is to say, like, this has always been an important part of my life and kind of my relationship with my daughter. A friend of mine who is a professor at UTD, she was married to another researcher. They have 2 kids. They're divorced now, but they have 2 kids. Their son is just recently turned 13. Their daughter maybe is 14 or 15. But they raised their kids in a non-religious home. They just happen to both be academics. Neither of them are particularly religious. And one day my friend, she was doing the laundry for the household, and she found in her son's pocket a little Jesus figurine. Look how that got John's attention. He said, "What? Jesus? Oh, hello."
No. Dude, I'm sorry, but
Just the way you turned around was cool.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but dude, it's crazy. I have this light hooked up right next to me.
Okay.
And I have these 2 cans, and I showed Aaron on this first one how it's dented up.
Yeah.
And then this one's dented up too. It's next to like this charger, and it's like some science stuff going on right now. It's crunching these cans, and I'm not doing it.
The charger is denting the cans?
Yes. It's crazy. So I'm sorry. It tripped me out. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it was seriously tripping me out.
Imagine what it's doing to your testicles.
I was going to say, yeah.
You need to independently
Come on, man.
Cooked over there.
investigate each can.
Come on, man.
The strength of your argument is on the quantity of the cans.
Good gracious.
But back, sorry, Arlo, for that interruption. You want to continue?
Sorry.
But so anyway, so her son, you know, goes to school here in Plano or somewhere. Lulu did the same thing. I moved Lulu from Southern California to Texas about 10 years ago. She was in middle school at the time. And it's a kind of a culture shock, you know. It's a lot more conservative here. I'll never forget, like, not long after we moved here, I'm like, so, you know, what do you think of Texas? Because I knew it was a big move for her. She left all of her friends in Southern California. And she goes, yeah, you know, I like it. She goes, it's just, it's different. I'm like, how's it different? She's like, well, it's, what'd she say? She's like, it's a lot more racist. It's a lot more homophobic. And it's a lot more religious, I think she said.
Yeah, just overall more conservative.
Yeah, for sure.
Compared to California.
Yeah, for sure. But so here's my friend who's raised her kids in a non-religious home, and her son has discovered Christianity, discovered Jesus, and he's expressed to her that he likes it, and that, you know, that he's got his own Bible that he's reading, and, you know, I guess he's finding communion with friends, and so this is something that was, I think, distressing for her. Anytime you have kids, you kind of want your kids to have the same worldview as you do. And that cuts both ways. If you're religious, whatever your religion is, you kind of want your kids to come up in that religion. That's also true for people that are not religious. If you're not religious, you kind of want your kids to, you know, adopt the same values that you have. As parents, you want your kids to have the same values you have, more or less.
So it was troubling. It was troubling for her that he was.
It was troubling for her. Yeah,
religious.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it was unsettling for her. And, you know, one of the things he said to her is, he's like, you know, Mom, if it makes me want to be a better person, then what's the problem with it? Why do you have a problem with it? Which I think was a fair and valid point. But so it got me to thinking, it's like, you know, I raised Lulu not just to be non-religious, but I raised her to be skeptical. I gave her the tools of skepticism, and skepticism, broadly or generally speaking, it's recognizing kind of cognitive biases, like confirmation bias. We've all heard of confirmation bias. There's a whole kind of series of things that our brains kind of just do naturally that we're mostly unaware of. And logical fallacies is another big thing, but these are things that we are all guilty of that we're mostly unaware of. And the enterprise of skepticism is just kind of recognizing, identifying these things, and then helping us to correct for them. That's why, Brady, that we gave out the Skeptics Toolkit written by Carl Sagan, but it's sort of an introduction to these cognitive biases and logical fallacies. This is the Skeptics, what he calls the baloney detection kit, is featured in his book, The Demon Haunted World. And that's kind of, it gives an introduction to some of these ideas that I'm talking about. That right there's a quote from Carl Sagan. But so in having this discussion with my friend and seeing what she was going through with her son, it made me think, well, is it possible? Could there be something more structured for people like me and people like her who kind of have these values, kind of have this worldview, but we don't have something like a religion. We don't have something like Christianity to share these values, to consecrate them, to codify them, to share, to pass them on to our kids. I taught my daughter, but I just kind of made it up as I went. I wasn't doing within any kind of structure or framework, and I don't have a community. I don't have fellowship with anyone. I don't meet regularly with people that think the way I do. Mm-hmm. And for most people that have left organized religion, we miss that. You miss being able to come together with people that share the same values as you do. And furthermore, I've said that skepticism is critical. I think that it's an urgent and critical skill that most of us lack. Just because I happened to accidentally discover it before I took a flight to a rollerblading event in Europe, because I was looking for the exact opposite thing. That's not a very good strategy for promoting scientific literacy and skepticism through a society, just hoping that they accidentally find it by looking for the wrong thing. There should be a more structured way to give these skills, share these skills with people. And so for people that are religious, if you're Christian, you don't wait for your public schools to teach your kids the values that are important to you. You don't wait for them to learn about, whatever stories you think are important or whatever values you think are important. Your kids learn it at church. They learn it at Sunday school. They learn it around the dinner table when you say prayers. They learn it at your, at weddings and at funerals when you're sharing these stories. And that's true for every religion, for Jews, for Muslims. I mean, every religion has all of these, every religion has this framework for sharing the values that are important to them. But for people that don't share those beliefs, or for people that are not religious, and particularly for people like me, because what I'm promoting here is not just the absence of religion or just the absence of deities, but I'm promoting the actual presence of scientific philosophy, or the presence of kind of a skeptical worldview. So I thought, well, why not make something, right? And so that is a long way of going. But to answer your question, that's why that was kind of the beginning of the idea for this. And so I just started scribbling in a journal. I started making up logos because that's usually where I start for most projects. But I also started writing prayers, and I wanted to get to the first service, because I want it to be a thing that could be put into practice. I don't want just to be a philosophical, exercise or something, that we just meet on a message board or we just share writings. The whole idea, one of the main ideas, is the sense of community and fellowship. So I wanted to get to a service where we could do things and have rituals and have ceremonies, but also talk about the things that are important to us. And so we've done it twice.
How is it being received by the people? Because you've already done two, right?
We've done two.
You've done two. How's it being received?
We've done it twice. We've been booking a public library in Plano. We get it for Saturday mornings. We do it from like 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And for each of the first two, we've had about 35 to 40 people show up, which is great. It fills up the little room in the public library. And the reception has been really good. But we're starting kind of from within our circle, and it will slowly start spreading outward. Excuse me. But so most of the people at the first two are kind of open to the idea. They're sort of aligned with some of the ideas, even though most people aren't really that familiar with skepticism or the scientific angle to it. There are already people who probably have found some reason or other that they become disenfranchised or disillusioned with organized religion, and so they're looking for something like this, perhaps. So the reception has been really overwhelmingly positive so far. But also because it's not a conventional religion, we're not working from any sacred text. Like, it's all open to input. Like, we welcome people. We want feedback. We want it to grow and evolve based on the community that we find.
Is it like, so y'all talk about a lot of science. Do y'all get into like conspiracy theories and like, things like that? Like kind of you know what I mean? Like you said, you were really big into Bigfoot and UFOs, or
ask him the question you really want to tell him.
Well, we're gonna get into that.
Earth flat?
No, I'm not gonna ask him that. But I do have a question, because there was a Flat Earth Senate sticker that was made, and you said you were into conspiracies. But are conspiracies part of what y'all talk about?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, skepticism is most useful when approaching claims kind of at the fringes of knowledge. Where it's kind of like harder to know which way to go or what to believe. That's where it's really useful to use skeptical tools to navigate through kind of competing ideas. We talked a lot, honestly, in the last service, what we call Sanctuary. We talked a lot in the last Sanctuary about the moon landing, people claiming that the moon landing was a hoax.
That's a good one. And Jose likes to make fun of me because I love conspiracy theories. And I'm a very skeptical person. That's why I think this really catches my attention. And, I got into looking at the Flat Earth stuff because I was like, why the hell would these people think the Earth is flat? But it's really interesting stuff. And it's kind of like my entertainment, conspiracy theory. I love it. So, but there was a Flat Earth Senate sticker. But that was like way back in the day. Like Flat Earth hadn't even come out yet. How did you even come up with that concept that far back?
Yeah, it was just 100% contrarian, right? It was just like whatever everyone else says, we're going to say the opposite. As you said, if there was actually a flat Earth movement, we would have never put that out. But at the time, there wasn't. It was just sort of a way of saying, F the world.
Yeah. And the moon landing is a really fun topic. I wish I could have been there for that because I've looked into that extensively. And
I have been quite a bit just because it's come up recently. So let's go. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm going to jump in real quick and be like, it's kind of difficult to apply Occam's razor to the moon landing because there is no, either option is not very simple. There's not, either or is completely fantastical.
Yeah.
Either we did go to space or there's this entire web of conspiracy that requires so many people to be involved and yet not be. Yeah. So not to get into it, but yeah, it's difficult to.
But I think that you've answered your question, or you've kind of refuted your first assertion. I think that it is even more extraordinary to the conspiracy would have to be so vast, and it's so unwieldy that I think that Occam's razor tells you that it's more likely that we went to the moon than that it's a conspiracy. You have to. There are so many more.
I disagree.
Let's hear it. And to be clear,
I don't want to get into a whole debate over moon landing. We can talk about it later.
But here's what I tell people, right? Because as a skeptic, and to be clear, skepticism is not the same thing as denial. I don't deny that we went to the moon landing. I don't deny the scientific consensus that we went to the moon landing. Skepticism generally encourages you to defer to the experts, defer to the scientific consensus, which I typically do, unless there is good evidence or good reason not to. And I've not seen any good evidence or good reason not to believe that we went to the moon. I've seen lots of good evidence to suggest that we did. But so what I'll ask whenever anyone offers something extraordinary that goes against the scientific consensus or the expert consensus, I'll say, well, what do you think is the single best piece of evidence that makes your case? And Josh, that's what I will ask you. Clearly, you think that there's enough there. There's enough there to be to question the official narrative. I'm wondering if you had to pick one piece of evidence that you could point to that really sows the seeds of doubts, what would you point to?
I'll give you three.
Great.
One, it's a big fact that we've never been back. That's huge. It's like the only type of technology that seems to have.
You're saying that we've never been back since the Apollo missions, which there were multiple Apollo missions.
Yeah, that all went through perfectly. Nobody died. They never had a problem. We've never even been like a tenth of the way, like that high up into space since. Like we just don't send people up there. And it seems like technology only gets easier and better. And the technology that we had back in the 70s and, very late 60s and early 70s, it doesn't seem fathomable that it was enough to do what they did. And even to this day, can't do it again, have no plans of doing it again. They constantly kick the can down the road. They say they're going to do it, then they push it 2 years and they push it 4 years.
But do you know why they push it?
Why do they push it?
Why do you think they push it?
Because it's not something they can do.
That's why you think they push it. They think, oh, we're not ready. We don't have the technology. Or do you think that it's a lack of political will? Like when they're looking at the budget, they're like, you know what, this is not really what people are looking for anymore. At the time when there was actually a Cold War and there was this, this race to be the first ones to get to the moon. Yeah, everybody was on board, and that was priority number one.
But so what's now?
There was the political will to do it. After we did it, after we did multiple missions to the moon, we kind of lost our political. There was no real incentive to go back. And so, yes, it has been on the agenda consistently ever since then. But as you said, it keeps getting punted and kicked down the road because it's not a priority anymore. It's not because we lack the technology. It's not because
they've straight up said that they don't have the technology to do it anymore. Like you can. It's been quoted by NASA astronauts. The other thing is they lost all the film, so there's no way to go back and review the film.
I just want to be clear about the last thing you said.
Yeah,
because it's important, right? The meaning. it's not that we don't have the technology, like we don't have the technological know-how. It's just that we don't have a moon program anymore. So it'd have to be rebuilt from scratch. We can't just throw people into old, Apollo rockets and send them out there. It's like we would have to build it up again, and we would do it with new and better technology. But it's not because we don't have access to technology, or that the know-how is not out there.
Well, that's funding.
That's a direct. Wait, hold on. That's a direct quote from. Gosh, wish I could remember the guy behind it, who was a top NASA person, that said, "We lost that technology. We used to have it, but we don't have it anymore, and it's a painstaking process to bring it back," which doesn't seem to be the way technology works. Like, things should only get better as technology advances. It seems like we did something, with the computing power of a calculator back in the 60s, and now we just can't do it. And what is NASA's job, if not space exploration?
This turned into like a Joe Rogan podcast. Did you guys miss the comment? They said the Earth is not flat; it is anti-rocker. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was hilarious.
That wins the chat.
That wins the chat for sure.
If the big quote is that they had the technology and they don't have it anymore, aren't you saying that they did do it in the first place?
Yeah, of course. It's not a conspiracy theorist saying that. It's one of the NASA.
No. What I'm saying is, like, if they had the technology to do it in the first place and they lost it, then they had it to do it at one point.
That's how he's justifying why we haven't been back.
Right. And then I think that's what the original point was. Like, our position in the world, on the world stage, is not being threatened at the time, so there's not really any incentive for us to really put that kind of funding. Whereas if Russia is, really threatening our position, and can completely change the entire global economy and everything else, that's a much bigger motivator than, man, can we do it or not?
Yeah, me and Brady have talked about starting another stream talking about things like this. Arlo, you would be awesome to have with us while we do that.
On our next podcast.
We can still do that. I'll get the information and stuff like that, because there's a lot of good information
Josh,
out there.
I just want to point out before it goes off the screen that because Michael Marcos in the chat, I think articulates it really well. The technology didn't really go away; the expertise did. So, I think that
then
that's a nice way of putting
what is
it.
NASA doing then? Like, if they're not actively trying to explore space, the final frontier, that's why they were created. And then we can get into the whole creation of NASA and Jack Parsons and the people.
But hold on. What do you think? You do know what NASA's doing, right? You know that we've sent rovers right to Mars. Like, that we've.
You can. Oh wait. Oh no.
Does he think that that's a hoax also?
No, I don't know. Those are things.
Have you checked it out? You can look at the surface of Mars right now. Like, literally, you can look at the surface of Mars. It's insane.
On Google Maps,
dude. It's not even. If they have their own, they're just the little thing that just drives around, man. It's taking samples, it's doing all this, but you can literally look at an entirely different planet.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, we can get into this another time. We lost John. I don't know where he went. John's gone. I think this was too much for him.
Yeah, moon landing. I'm out.
Thanks for riding with us on that one.
No, we can get into all this another time. I don't want to turn this into a whole.
Maybe the server by his computer or whatever crushed his head. God, I hope not.
By the way, Josh, in case you want to try to pull anything, I have all the logical fallacies at my disposal right now.
Okay, heck yeah.
I'll be able to catch them.
Yeah, well, we don't have to do it right now, but we'll get into it. It's fun. I love it. It's skepticism. It's what I love to talk about. And
well, can I just read one little part here?
Let me just say that I really appreciate people that are willing to have those conversations, because some people just shut it down and say you're stupid. The mainstream narrative is 100% correct, and they won't even entertain the discussion. So I appreciate the fact that y'all want to entertain the discussion. I think that kind of shows, like, not so much intelligence, but it kind of does show intelligence. Like, there's a really good Socrates quote, like, the sign of intelligence is being able to accept an idea without fully believing it, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but I do believe that to be true, because whenever I would bring up conspiracy theories to some people and they would just absolutely shoot it down, I would just be like you can't just talk about it. Like, you can't listen to what I'm going to say, have a back and forth. Some people can't even do that. So it's really nice to be around people that are willing to have those discussions, because I think they're fun.
100% appreciate that.
I had the kind of like same idea of skepticism, like when I first kind of like was like introduced to it. And I always thought it was just not just questioning the narrative, but kind of like pushing the narrative away. Like, obviously it's we're trying to disprove whatever the mainstream narrative is at all times.
Yeah.
But it's not that. And it says,
not
I like this part here. It's, arguments from authority carry little weight. "Quote unquote, authorities have made mistakes in the past. They will do so again in the future." Perhaps a better way to say it is, in science, there are no authorities. At most, there are experts. And so you're not just pushing the authority away because it's the authority, but you're looking to a better, you're looking to the expert, not just the person for what their status is to tell you it is, which I think is really cool.
Yep. Yep. 100%.
All right. Well, with that, I think.
But so October 18th, 11 a.m. We moved our location for this one. We're going to be at the Oak
Point
in Plano.
Recreational Center.
Yeah. I know Oak Point. I used to go there back
Oh, really?
in the day.
Yeah.
It's a lot more expensive than the library, unfortunately.
Schimmelfinnig.
Yeah, Schimmelfinnig was already booked. We couldn't get our normal time. That's where we've had the first two, and it's great. The program room where we had the first two services is like, it looks like a little chapel, like a little secular chapel, because there's no iconography or anything in there, but it's got a nice vaulted ceiling. It's got windows. It's really beautiful little space. So our next one's going to be at Oak Point. Is that right?
Recreational Center.
Oak Point Recreational Center in Plano, 11 a.m. On October 18th.
Me and Brady are going to be there.
You want to do a little hike at the nature reserve beforehand?
Wait, it's on Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
So we're not skating?
It's two. What? It's like two.
Were
It's
you
like
going to skate at 11 a.m.?
Yeah, it's like 2 hours.
yeah,
in the
that's-
morning.
You'll still be asleep.
You don't
No.
you don't meet up to the spot until 12:30 anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
Jose goes to work every Saturday morning.
Yeah, but I meet you guys at noon.
No, we'll be there.
Yeah,
I'm looking
definitely.
forward to it.
We'll be done at 12:30. Unless y'all want to go for coffee afterwards, which we always do.
For lively discussion.
Yeah.
All right.
We keep the conversation going 100%.
I'm really looking forward to it. And I wanted to ask this as kind of a goof, but then I was talking to Lobo about it, and I was like, is everyone wearing black? Is that just on accident? But is it true that black is encouraged? Wearing black?
Yeah, I sent Josh the invite, and it says in the invite, it says there is no dress code, but black is encouraged.
I love it. I kind of
That's
thought
great because all my clothes are black. I'll be able to get in on that. That's not a problem.
You
at
know,
all.
because I think that all the best movements have, aesthetic plays a role in it, and they're well branded. And just because my background is kind of like branding and I have an aesthetic sense, like I care about the way things look, that is part of it. I don't think that it's essential to the philosophy or anything. It's just, I think things go better if they, if they're appealing, if they look cool. And I think it makes it a little more intriguing. Like one thing that I told my mom when she asked, she's like, "Why black?" She's like, I feel kind of uncomfortable with that. And I said, when you go to brunch on a Sunday and you see a bunch of people coming in, you can tell that they're coming in from church, right? That they've all just got out of church. You can tell largely by how they're dressed. I said, when we come out of a sanctuary, when we come out of one of our Ministry of Skepticism services and we show up somewhere, I don't want people to think we've just come out of church, but I do want them to wonder where we've come from. I want it to look like something.
They're going to say a funeral if everyone's dressed in black.
Yeah, maybe.
Look, y'all are all wearing black. I'm wearing black. This can
These
be
guys are in a really good mood.
I got all black.
Listen, there's no question, Jose, that the aesthetic I'm going for is inspired kind of like by a Gothic aesthetic. You can see in the Instagram, like, and
yeah,
even the
you can
logo.
See it. You can kind of see it.
But I just think it's kind of a cool look.
Oh, it's a lantern. I hadn't looked too much
Yeah, it's
into
a
it.
lantern.
Yeah.
What's this symbol up here? Does that have any significant meaning?
Looks like
That's
a
that's-
potion.
Josh, man, keep going. Yeah, that's the lantern. I suppose. So
I see. Okay. I
on the
see it.
first
Yeah.
prayer book is the lantern, which is a pretty cool thing.
Well,
which
it's
we will
easy for
see.
you to say. You just read the
No.
whole
I'm talking
book.
about the. No, I'm talking about the. Well, yeah, I guess making the connection. I'd seen that logo before, but hadn't looked at it too long.
Yeah.
After reading the lantern, I look at it. I'm like, oh well, that's a lantern. Like,
Yeah. Now I can see it.
Yeah, one of the first rituals we do in the service is we light the lantern and we say a prayer over lighting the lantern.
It's gonna be dope.
And the lantern takes its inspiration from Carl Sagan's book. It's The Demon Haunted World: Science as a Candle in the Dark. So the candle is protected in the lantern.
And it says, nothing is. Well, I'm going to paraphrase, but like nothing is turned away. No ideas are forbidden. Is that what it was saying? How does that manifest itself? Like,
and we have a prayer that we say for the sanctuary that, it says that no ideas are off limits. It's a safe space for, as you said, Josh, right, for the exploration of any idea. There are no dangerous ideas or no ideas that are off limits. And part of the reason we have to say that, one is to assuage the fears of someone like you, Josh, or anyone who says, oh, I don't want to just be shut down, but also because a lot of conventional religions kind of have that bad reputation of kind of shutting down free inquiry, right? There are dangerous ideas. There are things that they don't want you asking. Within the ministry of skepticism, there are no dangerous ideas. In fact, we are the more you are willing to ask and investigate, the stronger we become.
Is it interactive? Do the people in the, do you call it a congregation? Or do they interact with, like, is there a discussion, or is it kind of more like you presenting and stuff like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
100%. It's something that we're trying to incorporate more and more. In the last one we did, there were a couple of times when we stopped to take questions, and we did that live. We are thinking one of the things we might do for the next one is introduce also cards that we can pass around for people that don't necessarily want to speak out loud, but might have a question that they'd like to introduce for discussion. So we are definitely trying to build in more interactivity. We don't want it just to be kind of like a one-way conversation, although there is a lot of that. We do basically have a sermon where, like, we give talks on stuff, but we also want it to be a dialogue. We want feedback too.
Are you writing these sermons on your own, or do you have any partners or anybody that does this with you, or are you doing it all on your own?
So that's a great question. And it's one of the nice features of the services, something that Selena, actually, who was in the chat, I think earlier, my girlfriend, she said, maybe we could, different people can read the prayers, because I wrote all the prayers, and originally I was going to read them, but I was like, oh my God, that is a great idea. And so every prayer we assign to a different person reads it. And it's nice when it's not all just coming from one voice. We also have built into the structure of the sanctuary where I give a sermon, but we also have someone else give a separate talk. The first one, Lulu, talked about growing up with skepticism. The second one, Selena, talked about her move away from Christianity. She used to be a part of the church. Her and her husband were very active in a Christian church, and their journey away from that toward skepticism. She talked about that journey in the last service. And so in the next one, we will find someone else to give a talk within the theme of that service, the next one, the theme will be compassion. But so, we have different people speak.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
Well, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up. What do y'all think?
Did I go through it? Did you go through everything on the list?
Yeah, I went through everything I wanted to. Shit. I mean, we can just have open discussion if either anybody has any random questions. I do have a couple random questions I can look at. Brady, you do some questions at us. Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
Man, we just had a really good talk, and I don't want to. Mine are just kind of like rapid fire. Well, not necessarily, but I guess I would ask, like, what was your actual relationship with Mindgame? Because I know that you acted in those skits. I don't think you had anything to do with the art. So did you?
Well, that's not true.
Okay.
Do you know the black sheep?
Oh yeah.
I drew that.
Okay, yeah. So I guess I had like the idea that somehow you were.
And one of the best logos I ever did was for Mindgame, and Shane didn't use it. I've talked about it before, but
okay.
I think it's an old photo now on my Facebook page. But it was like a palindrome logo that reads the same forward and backwards. It says Mindgame, but it says Mindgame both directions. So it was literally a mind game. It was so sick, and it was so hard to figure it all out and make it work.
Yeah, that came out somewhere.
The reverse mind game, right?
No, but it would have read both ways. Like either way you looked at it, it would be mind game.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Oh wow,
it was really cool, and I was so bummed that Shane didn't use it.
And that's so.
Were you part of the Black Sheep logo too?
I did that one. Yeah,
that one's badass.
That's so mind gamey.
Yeah. I mean, Shane and I were just really close, which, by the way, Shane, this is so sick. At the last Blading Cup, Shane came up to me and said, "Hey, can we, do you have a minute to get away for coffee?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, that would be cool, whatever." But I never did have a minute. Like Blading Cup was it's always insane because I'm running the drug receipts booth out there. I can't ever get away from the booth. It's like it's just constant stuff going on. Oh, sick. And so finally, he just came up to me at the booth and he said, "Listen, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to get to coffee, but he said, the reason I want to go to coffee is I really wanted to share something with you." I'm like, "Yeah, what is it?" And he said, you let me borrow a book. Like we did a book exchange. Like we had a conversation. This was years ago, but like kind of he was getting into some Eastern mysticism stuff, like, yogis and whatever. And he thought, he was sort of expressing ideas that sort of seemed sympathetic to the idea that, maybe these yogis are able to kind of like, transcend, physical bounds, like they can do levitation, stuff like that. And I already had gone well down the path of skepticism. I'm like, "Shane, I'm really skeptical of those claims. And they're kind of hard for me to believe, and so we kind of like talked about our different worldviews at that point. But we were really kind of talking past each other because, we were in two different places. But so we each said, "Hey, if I give you this book, will you look at it?" And so we did. We did a book exchange, and I gave him, I believe it was a book by Michael Shermer, who's the publisher of Skeptic Magazine. He wrote a book called "Why People Believe Weird Things," and forgot about it. I mean, this was years ago. And so he came up to me at the last Blading Cup and he said, I read that book and it changed my life. Like, he's like, it changed the way that I thought about things. And so it's led him on his own journey towards skepticism, to where now he is, I think could be called a skeptic, which just blew my mind. And when we talk about the ministry of skepticism, that is why we're doing it. Like, I want to spread the idea of skepticism, give people access to this information, because like I said, it shouldn't be this hard to find it. And I've been doing this for 30 years, and there are very few opportunities to ever talk about. I'm talking about right now on a podcast, but I'm talking about because I started a religion. Ever since I started the religion, I constantly have opportunities to talk about skepticism because it's packaged in this, this vehicle, this conceit of religion. That's why I'm doing it, to spread skepticism, 100%. And so Shane and I have always been very close. The reason I'm talking about Shane, it kind of came full circle with the skepticism story. But Shane and I at Mindgame, at Tribe, which was the umbrella company for Senate and for Medium, Supercomputer Robot 976. Shane and I worked very closely at Tribe. Shane, Dave Temple, and I, it was kind of like a brain trust. We were just constantly it was this constant outpouring of creative energy. And we're always, collaborating on ideas, pitching ideas back and forth. We worked on USD together. We kind of worked on that. We worked on Shadow together. Medium, I didn't really ever do much for. Shane kind of 100% did the creative direction for that. And Mindgame also. Mindgame was really all Shane's creative output. But there were a couple of things where he would give me an opportunity to contribute on a graphic or something.
Was it kind of understood that not that he set a boundary or anything, but that you being an artist and he having a vision, that you wouldn't try to get to, not try to get involved, but it was understood that it was his thing.
100%. And Shane, but Shane was really good about that. He had his own clear vision and he knew how to implement it and how to protect it. So it's probably the reason why he didn't use the graphic, which I loved, but it didn't look like a Mindgame graphic. He had his own aesthetic in mind. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he would only use things insofar as he thought that they matched his brand. And I always appreciated that about Shane. He had a clear vision.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I do want to show two things because you talked about the Black Sheep logo.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaelson has a really cool design that kind of is a parody of that. And it's Bart Simpson with the skateboard, and it's got Millhouse down in the bottom, and it says Millhouse like the Mindgame logo.
That's great. That's great.
With rollerblades.
Yeah.
And then he also wanted me to bring up the first shirt, some of the first shirts that he made, which are Senate, Senate parodies. He actually kind of has a little homage to you on the tag. It says, let me read it. He put a little secret message on the tag. It says, destroy all squirrels.
Ah, cute.
Yeah. Sounds awesome.
For drug receipts, I wanted to make a Send It shirt that was a play on the Senate logo. But I kept saying, I guarantee that's out there. Like I thought maybe I'd already seen it.
Yeah.
Like, even if I hadn't seen it, like it seemed like it was too obvious. It must have already been done. And then sure enough, I found them that they are out there, but those are done really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his shirts are sick.
Yeah.
What did you do on Shadow?
I did the Shadow logo with all the animals.
Whoa.
Oh, what?
I thought that would be a Shane logo.
Exclusive.
No, I did that. Yeah. I mean, Shane art directed. He told me what he wanted. He told me he wanted all those animals spelling Shadow, but I did that.
Okay.
So you also did the Mindgame with the swirl face?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
Mm-mm. Those are Shane.
I'm gonna go back and look at that one
Mm-hmm.
because that was just like, yeah, okay.
And so there's a guy who makes shoesy. He makes it's like an art. It's an art. He's an artist, and he makes Uzis out of like shoe materials, so that they look like Nikes, but they're Uzis.
Like the gun?
Yeah, like the gun
okay.
Uzi.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think his account is Shoezy, SHOEUZI. I don't know. But he approached me years ago about he loved the Mindgame logo, and so he wanted me to make one for him. I can't remember what it was, but it was something like that. Like I made animals, and I think they spelled something.
Oh, the Shadow logo.
Yeah, but he's saying, yeah, sorry.
But like the Shadow. Oh, sorry, I meant Shadow. Yeah, like the Shadow. He loved the Shadow logo.
Okay.
And he wanted something like that. I'm sorry, I don't have a more detailed explanation there because I can't remember exactly how that went down. But I remember coming up with something cool for him. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, the whole Shadow, even the way you spelled it starting with X.
I didn't spell that. That is Shane. I did not pick how to spell it.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
That was Shane.
Arlo had everything to do. He
Yeah.
Created.
X-Shadows. Some people will call it X-Shadows.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, that was Shane. And I had other before we got to that one, I had other logos I did for Shane for Shadow that were sick, that were rejected. Like I had a cool one with like a Black Panther.
Nice.
I wonder if I could find those. I'm sure I have them somewhere. It'd be nice to bring those out.
Yeah, Shawn Michaelson sent this, and he wanted me to click on it, but it's from a Instagram called Mindgame Collector.
Oh, he's saying that he was saying that the logo was used for something, and it looks like that is it the one on the far right, on the middle?
That kind of looks like it. Let me see.
Which one?
You go
The very far right,
Yeah, far right on the
next to the flag.
Oh, I need to go.
On the second row?
Second row, yeah.
Oh, there we
Second
go.
row, the last one.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you zoom in
symmetry.
on that?
That's about as close as I can get.
Wow.
But it looks like a bastardized version of it. Because
Okay.
that's the D and the G are similar. Hold on.
Yeah.
You can come over here and look at it, or if you want to get close to the TV.
Yeah.
Probably his computer would be a better view.
Someone go to my Arlo Eisenberg's Facebook and look at the photo album. I have one that has graphics or something. Yeah, you know what I think happened actually? Dude, this is like one thing that you learn as a skeptic is how fallible your memory is. So I'm going to say some things which may not be true, but I think Dustin Latimer did a version of my logo that they did end up using, which might have been that. It was not. It was not. It was a worse version of my logo, but that may have happened. And like I said, I wouldn't stake very much on that, but I do have some vague recollection of that's maybe how it went down. Is anybody on my Facebook?
Yeah, I have it.
I'm on your Facebook.
I'm
I
at
can't find
commercial
it.
art.
Yeah. In commercial art, does it have the Mind Game logo in
I'm
there?
going through it right now.
Wait, on this Facebook?
Yeah.
Where do I go?
In the photo albums, there should be an album. Yeah.
Oh, it's right here. I got it.
Oh, albums.
I got it.
Yeah. Which is it in the commercial art?
It's super similar. Here.
Yeah, but mine's clean.
Is it
Yeah.
on the commercial art?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty near the
Yeah,
top.
it's that. Yeah, it's the white one on the left.
This one? Oh, this one? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mind Game. Yeah.
That was a logo that never actually made it to production.
Yeah, but that's the one I think what you just showed. Dustin did a version of it, which I mean, I can kind of feel where Shane's coming from, right? That maybe doesn't look very Mind Game. That's kind of like more.
It almost looks like DC.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, you're seeing the D and the G. Oh, I see what you're-
Like
the
the D and
letters
the
in the
G,
middle.
like
Uh-huh,
DC.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But it says Mind Game forward and backward. That's
No, I see it. I
Yeah.
see it.
I guess like
That is a sick logo.
yeah.
it's a.
I could see where you bring the little Senate wings on the side.
No, I mean,
Or am I wrong?
I was just trying to get the letters all to say Mind Game both ways.
It kind of looked like
Yeah.
the Senate wings on the side.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's very. I think it's
like
pretty
it.
mind gamey.
I like it.
I think the only thing that it took this not super mind gameish is like kind of how the large round D and G, the roundedness, because it has that kind of like pointy. A lot of the logos, at least. But other than that, I mean, it could definitely fit in the line. But it looks like Latimer's like did like a whole like angle at the top to where it's all kind of flush at the top.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been years since.
Oh no, Arlo, your camera. Something happened with your camera.
Oh,
Hold on one second.
Looking
have you
for the
done?
phone. We thought we were going to put Jose to sleep, but we put the camera to sleep.
Yo, that was an accident, and it was a long day of work. Okay, I have a good excuse. That does not happen all the time.
oh.
What does F4W stand for again?
Feet, four wheels.
Feet, four wheels.
Oh yeah, by the way, chat, I did mess up. I said FR instead of FP. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I had it written here, and it is FP, but I had an R written down. But that's on me. Sometimes you goof.
There's no reason to do a Feet for Wheels collaboration with me. That is essentially already what it all is, right?
Yeah, in spirit.
And I couldn't do better than what they're doing already.
Hey, Sean, you can do a collaboration with me, and rollerblading is still fun. We can do a collaboration. I'll let your boy.
We need a shirt with Ollie on it.
Jordan, it's religion insofar as it has ritual and ceremony and fellowship and community, and it instills and promotes values and a framework and a structure to kind of to build and grow a life around.
And I guess in a way, like all religions come with a set of like their own toolkit for like dealing with your place in the world.
As long as we don't gotta drink Kool-Aid.
Not yet.
Hey, chat, if y'all have anything y'all want to shoot in the chat right now, since we kind of have some free time, if anybody has any questions.
I've got a super, okay, but real quick. I was watching your mushroom blading podcast, which I'd seen before, but I watched it again just to like make sure I'm not like asking the same questions.
Yeah.
When you do a soul grind in the middle of a comp and everyone does the big Arlo, and because people are sincerely stoked, does that feel like, is that not bother you, but like it's all good, right? Like, it's all in good. They mean well. You know what I mean? I worded that terribly, but go ahead. Sorry.
You kind of did.
I did. I
Like,
thought it was terrible.
It's like,
He talked about,
is it overrated
because the way he said it in the interview was kind of like, I just do a simple soul grind. And they're like, yeah, Arlo.
Like you can feel like how it's kind of condescending. Like
Yeah, I was trying to say like
The bar has
placating.
been set so low.
Exact. That's
Yeah.
what I was trying to
No, I don't
articulate.
care. I don't care. I mean, there probably was a time when it would have been more embarrassing. But no, I don't care now. Like, I've let go of all that. Like, yeah. I've set the bar pretty low for myself as well. So, yeah.
No, I just kind of wanted to make the other side of it, which is like it is sincere. People are just stoked to see Arlo do a soul, which is
I got what you meant. I love that.
And the last one, since you know the camera back up, what is the last new trick you've learned? Because the other night I saw you do a mistrial. I don't know if you've ever been a mistrial. Was mistrial a trick of yours?
No, but it's not like I've never done them.
Yeah.
Just there's a lot of tricks that I've done that I never do, you know?
What's your favorite trick?
I don't have, listen, there are a couple of tricks that I will do, a backside royale and a soul grind, and that's it. It's not because they're my favorites. It's just because they're the only ones I just know how to do still. So I do them. Beyond that, it just sort of depends on the session. Like, you know, Lulu's wants to learn a porn star, so I'm learning them with her, and so I'm doing them. So it's fun for a session.
Nice.
The last session we did, I was just kind of having fun messing with mistrials. But I don't skate regularly enough to really have, you know, strong feelings one way or another. It's just sort of session to session, and they only happen once every few months. So it's just, I take each session as it comes.
Yeah, the one where we were skating at Bachman, that was a really fun session. Yeah. And you were there and Lulu was there.
Yeah.
John Metz asked, last one, Arlo, is the M12 the best skate of all time?
No, definitely not.
The longevity, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're still producing it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a cool skate for its time. And it you know, that profile, the old rollerblade skates, the old Rosa skates is like kind of timeless and iconic for rollerblading.
Yeah, for sure.
I also had a question. Is there one thing you wish you would have stuck to, or you wish you would have done that you could do now, like in rollerblading, like in the past, like maybe keep the Senate company, or, you know, or push a project to keep it, you know, still up afloat, instead of Franco Shade, Senate, and this, like maybe stick to one. Like if you had a chance to go back, like would you have done something different, or maybe, you know what I mean?
That's a good question. No, I don't think so. It's just because they kind of like when the time comes, like the time comes, like there, for me, there was nothing to hang on to at Senate anymore. By the time I left, I was ready to go. It seemed like the right time. Franco Shade wasn't my choice. Joe thought it was time for us to part ways, so we did. Ghost Brand, I did kind of just let sort of fade away. Like I kind of ghosted Ghost. But you know, all these things, they're all just sort of part of like
the journey.
Yeah. It's like, and yeah. And for a thing like Ghost, or even like Drug Receipts, it's like Drug Receipts even more than Ghost, because Ghost was started as a brand. So it kind of only exists insofar as like I'm making products. Drug Receipts started as art. So I feel like Drug Receipts can kind of always just keep going, because as long as I just keep doing art, like it exists in some form or another. Mm-hmm. And of all the projects I've ever done, I feel like this next one will probably be the one that I will have the most interest in seeing through, being fully committed to. And there was a time where rollerblading was that, you know, I was an evangelist for rollerblading. Like I thought it was going to be the biggest thing in the world, and I was out there promoting it. And maybe it still could be, but it, you know, that to talk about a journey that didn't go the way that I thought it would.
Do you think there's a chance for it to come back, like kind of how it used to be in the 90s?
I think there's a chance for it to come back, not how it was in the 90s, but for it to come back and be something, you know, have a whole different experience. All the virtues of rollerblading still exist. I don't think that anything changed with rollerblading. I think some other things changed that changed the circumstances. But yeah, I don't think that there's any reason why rollerblading couldn't be as big or bigger than it ever was. And maybe we'll see that again. I mean, maybe, you know, it does get back into the X Games. Maybe it does get into the Olympics. Maybe you start to really drive those numbers up again. I don't think any of that's out of the realm of possibility.
So one of the things I've heard is what caused the downfall kind of in the 90s was rollerbladers wanting to be exclusive and wanting to be like a quote unquote punk rock or anti-establishment. I mean, did you see that at the time, that they kind of didn't want to be part of these big, corporate comps with all these sponsors? They kind of wanted to keep it underground and independent?
It's possible. I mean, I don't know how much that could have actually had to do with it, because every action sport has that element to it. But skateboarders and bike riders, they didn't leave the X Games because of that. We didn't choose to leave the X Games. We were dropped from the X Games.
I'm talking more like kind of like around the ASA NISS, kind of closer to NISS back in the day. I think X Games kind of brought it back, but that's what I don't remember where I read that. I think I was asking ChatGPT questions, and it seemed to think that was kind of the sentiment of the time of why it kind of got pushed on the back burner.
Yeah, but however rollerbladers felt about NISS or ASA would have been, paled in comparison to the impact that something like the X Games would have on participation in rollerblading in terms of our numbers.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was a real thing. Again, it's like them skates and the Blading Cup now. Yes, there will always be a faction within any action sport that cares. People have different points of emphasis, different things that they value within the sport, and there's room for all of that. I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. That because there are people that will focus more on the culture in the streets, that means that we can't be in the World Games.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of changing. I think people want it to be big again, and it's not going to get big unless we have those big competitions that kind of get it out to the masses and everything like that. What NISS is doing is awesome, and getting rollerblading into the World Games, I think that'll do a lot for pushing the culture and expanding rollerblading's visibility to the mainstream and everything like that. I think it's a good thing. What do y'all think, guys?
Love it.
You're still in the game, Jose. How do you feel about it?
I don't know. I like to give it a try.
You're competing at Carriers, right?
Yeah. Well, I got second place at the Open last year, so hopefully I could maybe get first.
So you might be representing US. You might be going to Japan.
Man, that
would be
awesome.
How sick would that be?
That'd be cool. But I know there's a lot of people in the pros.
So do you remember what was top 5? Do you remember top 5 last year, Carriers?
For the pros?
Yeah.
I know it was
Kudo.
Hornish, Kudo for first and second, Downes third,
Adkins,
and Joe Atkinson, and I can't remember, but I qualified for the finals for the pro comp.
You did?
Yeah.
That's sick.
I just can't remember. I don't know, but I think there was only a 1 through 3 that got announced. I don't know if there was a 4 and 5.
I was just trying to remember how many Americans were in the top 5. And
Well, Chad Hornish and Jeff Downes were second and third, and Kudo was first.
So right there, you're in the game.
Yeah. On
Pack
the
your
podium
bags.
and on the
Pack your bags,
national team.
Jose. You're
Catch
going to
Jose
Japan.
in Japan.
Japan.
No, it's too quick.
I think it's really sick. I think at the time, for when ASA was still, doing its whole thing, it was kind of looked down upon to, be the ASA skater until it was all gone, and there was really nothing to like work toward, except for once a year you got the big contest, but it's all kind of sporadic and all that. But I just think it's really cool to have everything kind of lead into one thing, to have a little bit more structure in the sport. If we're going to be a sport that's taken seriously, we have to have kind of a serious like structure.
Yeah, I think kind of also a point that Josh, I think that you started to make about how like now that the sentiment has changed now, and that like there's not as big of an aversion to competition skating or big comps. But I think in the early times, like in the ASA times in particular, and probably also the X Games, like our sport was so young that I think that we were really self-conscious about everything, and so that everything felt like kind of like a commentary on our identity. And I think now that there's been so much time to kind of like to really establish an actual identity and have confidence in kind of the sport on its own merits. Everything, then that means that every little thing doesn't, you don't have to worry about every little thing somehow being an indictment on rollerblading or what you do. People competing at the World Games or people competing in the Olympics really won't change how anyone else chooses to experience rollerblading.
Yeah, one thing I find really unique or interesting is that back whenever it was big, it was really raw. You know, it wasn't as polished and cleaned up as it is today. It was, you look back and you watch those old ASAs, man, it was rough. Like, they didn't have big soles. They had little grooves. They didn't have the skates we have now. It wasn't as polished as it is now. I think now it's really set to be appealing to people outside of rollerblading, just how much it's been cleaned up. The tricks are solid. The style's great. It was at its peak whenever it was brand new, and it was still kind of trying to be figured out.
Yeah, 100%. And what Sean is saying in the chat is true also. I mean, I've referred a lot to, or we've talked a lot about the X Games and the big comps, but the movies played a big part in it too. I mean, more than anything else, when you ask people how they got into rollerblading, at least this used to always be the case. It wasn't from Daily Bread magazine or from watching the Hoax. It was always from seeing Brink, from seeing Airborne, from seeing the X Games. I mean, anyone who has any doubt about the power of media like that, just look to Brink as an example.
I started skating because of Mighty Ducks.
Or Mighty Ducks, exactly. That's another one, yeah.
If it wasn't for Mighty Ducks, I would never put on roller skates. I used to street hockey in the street. And then I was like, when I found out you could grind with them, I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah. I mean, if you want numbers, if you want money in the sport, you need that kind of exposure.
Yeah.
Although it's a different time now. I mean, we did not have social media back then. Yeah. So it is a little different. You can get millions of views, right? Any one of us can get millions of views for rollerblading, like Jimbo. What's Air Manatee? Yeah.
Air Manatee with the backflip?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or even like
peak
or Air Damon. Right? I mean,
I thought Air Manatee. I thought
I did. That originally said Air Manatee.
Air Manatee.
But Air Damon also. I mean, the stuff he puts out and gets millions of views, like for rollerblading, like, and it just looks awesome. I mean, maybe that's our new Brink.
And then we got Savison, but I don't know how much he's doing to make it look awesome.
I'm not.
I think
he's kind of just making it look fun.
Yeah, I'm a fan. It's not. Yeah, how awesome did Brink make it look? I mean, I don't know, but anything that's getting eyeballs on it is cool. And then it's like Jose said, you see it in Mighty Ducks, and then you get turned on to rollerblading, and then later you discover Hoax. Later you discover you can grind. It's just what gets the foot in the door. And if it's Savison doing crazy stunts, skating on vacuum cleaners, whatever, then great. As long as people are looking.
Yeah. Because no matter how they get into it, the coolness of rollerblading will take care of the rest. If they're willing to look into it, blading will just take care of all that.
100%. And to be clear, I like Savison's content. I think it's fun, and he's a great skater. So, yeah,
he's definitely good, but his content,
Jose's his biggest critic.
It's silly sometimes.
It is
just the vacuums, because he's really good, and I'm like, I guess he's just doing it for, I don't know.
Doing it for the views.
For the views,
definitely.
Yeah. But I know he would murder a lot of skaters for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
He's very good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We are at 3 hours.
3?
Now. 3
Is that a new world record?
That's a new world record.
That is a new world record. Wow. I don't think we've had
I couldn't believe it.
A long podcast like this.
Man.
Perfect.
And I appreciate you committing to 7 more hours with us tonight.
Now let's go ahead and wrap it.
24-hour live stream.
24 hours. What's a Kais and
That's wild, man.
Be sure to like the video and subscribe. Arlo, thank you so much.
It's been really fun. Thanks, you guys.
You have so much knowledge. You dropped so much on this. This is going to be a great episode. I just saw people in the chat saying how much they enjoyed it and everything like that. So thank you so much for coming through. I do want to talk about the raffle again. So we do have the drug receipts onesie and provided by Arlo. So thank you so much. So in order to participate in the raffle, all you have to do is leave a comment down below. Let us know what you love. Let us know what you hate. Give us some feedback. And we'll put you in the raffle wheel. We will be streaming again next Wednesday live, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. With that, we'll just let everybody say their goodbyes. Do y'all want to start on the couch first, Jose?
Yo, man, thanks for watching, guys. This was such a fun episode. And I can't wait to tune in to see all the people that comment for the raffle next week. Peace.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and just thanks to Arlo for coming by. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you guys for having me. You know, it's we talk about the big things, the big media, the big movies, Get the Brinks and stuff like that, but it's also it's projects like this, and this is what rollerblading is. This is what's kept it alive, you know, for the last 10, 15 years, 20 years has been people doing it just for the love. And so this is just another example of that. And I think you guys are doing a great job. This is a really polished operation that y'all have going here. And it's nice that you're...
Oh, it didn't start that way. It's come a long way.
The work shows. You put in the work, and it's a nice product that you're putting out.
Thank you.
So thanks for letting me be a part of it. And for all the people that you are inviting to give their feedback, what they love, what they hate, just remember, when you're giving negative feedback, always start with something that you liked. If you come on and you say, listen, that guy Arlo, he just talks so much, it's annoying to listen to. You can start with a compliment, say something like, but his hair, you know, Arlo's hair looks great. I could tell that he was cleanly shaven.
Oh, Arlo, wait. I went to get my haircut at Floyd's 99 in Richardson, and I saw some drug receipt stickers.
I put them all over there.
Yeah, the guy
and I give them to all the hairdressers. Yeah.
But the guy cutting my hair was like, oh, I cut that guy's hair. I know who he is. I thought that was funny.
I put them all over there.
That's hilarious.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to episode number 31 of the Rollerblading is Still Fun podcast. We love y'all and hope y'all have a great night.
Woo! Let's
Peace.
go.